Welcome everybody to the United Wellness event. It is Project PHInc's first United Wellness event online, and so we're very, very excited to have you here. Before we get started, I want to go over a few housekeeping rules. Number one, welcome to all of that we do. If you haven't followed, liked, subscribed, or done any of those things for us, please do me a favor and you can hit that subscribe button like right over here. That would be great. It's like right there for you. You'll get notifications. You'll get updates on what's going on with us, with Project Human, with what's going on in our podcast, and especially with the documentary. There's so many things going on, and we're really, really excited for you to be able to hear about that. If you are interested in listening about all of our old and past episodes, please take a second to listen and subscribe on our streaming services. Sorry, you guys, my brain is just losing it. I have a script, I have all the stuff, and now it just started to mumble jumble. So bear with me as we go through this. I promise I'm not alone today. I'm not. It just seems like it. But back to the podcast portion. Please go take a look and subscribe and listen to that. We are close to over 500 downloads. We want to hit the 1,000 downloads before the end of the year, if not more, because why not? The first year has been so epic for us. So go hit it. We're on Apple, we're on Spotify, we're on Amazon, iHeart, and many, many, many more. So whatever your heart desires and whichever way you want to listen, you will find us. And then you can also find us on our YouTube channel under The Artist Within, Watch with Adela, because you get to see all of the episodes live recorded as well as listening to that. So we really appreciate that. A couple of things I want to also say. We appreciate your support, number one, and your commitment to bridging the gaps in mental and emotional health. We appreciate, and I personally appreciate, the amount of effort and time you have put into watching me, following me, listening, supporting the organization, building us up to the level of where we are going and where we will be. And we could not have done it without you. And the other part is that I personally could not have done it without my team and my teams in the past and my teams in the future, but particularly this season, this time around. I have been so motivated, so inspired, so fueled by their existence and just by their sheer presence that it makes me work harder. It makes me want to bring this to you even better. And so I am so thankful, because this event and everything else that we're about to share with you could not have been possible if it wasn't for the team that comes and supports me whenever it is needed, wherever it is needed. For the most part, no questions asked, but because I send out a PDF file. So they kind of know not to ask questions. So there's that. And so we want to thank you for that, and thank you for my team. Today I want to welcome you, and I want to tell you what we're about to do so that you can kind of get an idea of why we're doing this and why this is so important. So why we're hosting the United for Wellness event, The Power of Unity, is because we want to have more voices, more stories to be shared, to be a beacon of hope and light and healing in this community. And because we need that, we need these voices, we need to bridge whatever conversations we're not having. We do that through platforms like this and through these opportunities in these events. So we appreciate you supporting us and watching and listening and doing all the other great things. What to expect today? Again, like I said, many things are launching because we're just so excited. But right here on to my left side, you'll see a list of a few things and topics that we're going to be discussing today. Number one is the power of unity to help and heal. What does it mean to be part of a unity, part of a united team, part of a community? What does it mean to be an advocate who advocates for unity and community? What resources do we do? What does one do when we don't have anybody? So we're going to have a good discussion about that. And then we're going to be talking to you about inspiring resilience through art and fashion. And one of the two things that I love the most: resilience, art, fashion, three things. All the things combined in that way. We're going to talk to you about our Ascent Aviation collaboration at Hurlong Airport. Shout out to Ascent Aviation. Shout out to the team who stayed with us and who helped us out and gave us the opportunity and permission to do the Adela things that Adela does, because why not, right? And so we're going to talk to that. We're going to talk to the team members and participants who are part of that. We're going to launch our ticket sales for the fashion fundraiser event to Runway to Resilience Fashion Fundraiser. I know my words. I know my stuff. We're going to launch that so you can get your tickets today. You can see behind the scenes. We're going to share that with you. And last but not least, the thing that we've all been waiting for, the thing that we've all been crying for, the thing that have all been asking me, when is it coming, Adela? What are we doing with it, Adela? The teaser to the documentary is finally here. Not the documentary yet. The teaser. I'm teasing you because I'm being teased too, okay? So I'm teasing you just as much as I've been teased, but we do have something for you. And you know what's crazy? It's not like anything we've expected. It's not like anything I expected. And what's crazy about creating a documentary and putting into this narrative about humanity and discovering what a human is that you don't even know that you're a human or that you have the capacity and the ability to change until you actually see yourself through a lens of someone else. That's what I really love about it. That's what I'm really excited about to share with you. So we'll get to watch that. You'll get to see the premiere. So go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, like, and do all that so you can catch it live as we're doing it here as well. And then you'll get to hear a little bit about the behind the scenes from a few participants who've been part of the journey, whether that's behind the scenes as, a photographer, makeup artist, or a chef, or actually in front of the scenes as an interviewee, or just being my dear good human friend who's seen me struggle up and down and gets to see that perspective on it. So I'm really excited about that. And then last but not least, our one of our team members who is also our guest speaker today, Jennifer Lathan. She's going to be talking to you about defining the narrative as well, and what that experience or what that means to her, how one can define their narrative too. And I'm really, really excited to share all of that with you over these next 2.5 hours. So join me, welcome my team, and take a break when you need to. Take a moment when you need to. We will too, we promise. And bear with us as we move forward and we give you our very first event. That's a virtual event. That's a conversation that we really, really need to have about what it means to be united together in this form, in this shape, in this life, so that we can grow. All right, without any further ado, are you guys ready to see everybody else and see my team and let them go? Me too. Here we go. Hello, everybody. Y'all can say hi, but without the waves too, y'all can say hi. Welcome.
Hi guys.
Glad to be here. Hello.
Everyone.
Hi.
I love it. So I'm going to just take a second and introduce everybody really quick. We have our co-host today for the conversation that we're going to be having. To the top left of my screen, right over here, is going to be Alicia Alvarez. She is our marketing lead, and she is going to be our co-host, again, through a conversation. I'm really, really excited for you guys to hear what her thoughts are and her perspectives are, because it's unique, and she's had her own journeys and her own struggles, and as we all have in our impacts, and why, again, these conversations are important. Then we have right next to her, Mr. Seth Batchelor right there. He is our operations financial advisor and really kind of my boss when I need to be bossed around at certain things that when I don't listen to, like follow rules. He's really, really great at that. So he'll be our moderator today, and he'll be letting us know what questions, what things we need to do, and then he will be shutting you up if you're not listening either, just like he would be me. Just so you know, he moderates really good. Then right down here on the bottom to my left, we have Miss Jennifer Lathan, who has been part of our AI and marketing and production and operations and all kinds of different things in there. The way I call her and describe her is a mini Adela. The things that I'm not great at, she is great at, and it makes me so happy. So I'm really excited to have her, and so she's going to be sharing her story and again co-hosting this event. And last but not least, Yolanda Curtis. Why did I do that? Yolanda Curtis. I don't know either, but Yolanda Curtis, she's here to have a conversation with us as well too. She's been part of this organization in the back end, the front end, all around the ends and every ends of ways that you can think of. She's been around with me. She's been in the trenches, and so she'll be here to have and co-host with this conversation and the importance of, again, uniting and coming together in that. So without further ado, and I am done talking about all the stuff, you guys, let's start and explore what our role as individuals and collective advocates means, and how as individuals we can be the voice for someone who has not yet found theirs, how we as a community can come together to initiate change and make a difference with not only our voices but our unique gifts. So I'm going to start the conversation by asking you guys to let me know, and let's start the conversation about the first one, about what does an advocate mean? What does an advocate mean? We have a dictionary definition, so I'll say it and then we'll start the conversation and you guys can give me your own definition. So the dictionary definition says an advocate is a noun, is a person who publicly supports or recommends a particular cause or policy. An advocate is a verb, to speak or write in favor of, or to support or urge by argument. I'd also like to say that an advocate is an action, period, whichever way that means To advocate is to act. To advocate is to move. So let's start with asking you guys, starting with Alicia, and then to Jen, I guess, and then we'll move on to Yolanda. Seth is going to be our back end, like I said, moderator, and just be here for us. But let's start with you guys. What does an advocate mean to you?
Yeah, to me, an advocate could be two things. It could be either that you have to advocate for yourself for something that is needed, learning to speak your own voice. But I think that here at PHInc, our choice of advocacy is more of trying to speak for people who haven't either found their voice or understand the need for their voice being heard yet, and kind of helping people understand that too, that they have to speak up for themselves. So not only speaking up for them, but also kind of teaching them to speak for themselves as well.
So championing and helping them, guiding them in their narratives or in their plans or in their processes, being there for them.
I would love to add on to what Alicia said. In my experience of being supportive of other humans, you wouldn't believe the sheer frequency of coming into contact with people who put so many others in front of themselves and put themselves at the bottom of the to-do list. And that self-care, that self-awareness, that desire to help other humans realize that we can't give from an empty cup. That is advocacy for me. It's reminding us to reclaim our humanity and allow us to help serve ourselves as we serve others, either as a parent, an employee, an employer, a friend, a non-medical professional who loves the human race and wants to see humans thrive. We are advocating for humanity. And I think that that is central and core to what the mission of Project Human is. And what we do every day is we non-professionals help other non-professional humans.
I love how you said that. Even you're non-professional, which again, speaking of the non-professional, just because you're non-professional doesn't mean you can't be certified in the existence of your life. So just an FYI, you can be a certified nuisance, because guess what? We are. Yolanda, your thoughts?
I think with advocacy, and this is like a thing me and Adela talk about a lot, but we bring it back to a very elementary state of mind where we're meeting a human where they are, not where they want to be, not where we think they should be, not where other people think they should be, but where they're at, and come alongside them to support them. Like, yes, we give them the tools and the knowledge to learn how to do these things, but the biggest part is like coming alongside them and saying, you know what, we got you. Like, when you feel like no one else is going to show up, we're really good at that. We're really good at showing up. We might not always be the best at like not being busy, but if we say we're showing up, guarantee that no matter what happens, that's what we're going to do. And so I think advocacy comes to that, like that we're going to come alongside them, not take over, and help them really discover who they are in their own humanity and where they want that to go.
I love what you said, that we come along with them and help them discover that, because a lot of times when we talk about advocating, and I've been in situations and in places and spaces when advocating comes in, advocating means that we, in a sense, that we have control over the other being, right? Most of the system will say when you advocate, it's to advocate for the control. At least that's the way it's taught to me and the way I receive it, right? So I may be misrepresenting it, but the way it's taught to me and the way I've been in these classes is that as an advocate, I'm supposed to be asserting some level of control over a human being and over their needs, over their stuff, because I know better versus them. And that to me is not advocacy. That to me is, again, control. When the human being itself in their state of existence are in a place and space of a trauma induced psychosis or a anxiety induced level panic attack that they can't process anything, there is no level of control that they have within themselves to be able to respond in an appropriate way that we as society would deem fit, right? So when they're in there, we as advocates will show up and think that we advocating by grabbing them physically and picking them up physically and putting them into the spaces that they physically need to be, we think as caregivers also that that's how we are doing and that's the right thing to do. To me, and again, I may be all wrong, but this is why we're here to have these conversations and really understand what the nuance of that is. To me, that is wrong. Because when you come in and you invade a human being's space when they have no control over it, they're in their own war. They're in their own level of destruction, their own little level of it will never, ever be okay. And then you come in saying, well, you suck even more. And you don't say it that way, but your actions do, right? Well, we could do better and you should already be, and how could you again? And, I know this is hard for you, but it's hard for me too. And so these words and these narratives do impact. And as a caregiver and as advocate, going back to Jen's point, when we don't take care of ourselves and understand our own capacity, and when we don't understand our own ability, we then, without our own first full tank or our own understanding and boundary, we do not have the capacity to show up the way we're asking people to show up. That's why we show up with aggression more so. That's why we show up with more force or rushed versus the time and care a human being in the advocacy space and caregiving space needs. And for me, when I think of that is, again, and you guys will attest to this, I don't care what we're doing, where we're at, what's on the table, who's at the table, who's speaking, where we're speaking, how fancy we are, what level amount of money is dropping and making it rain on us. Like, I don't care. If there is a 911 call of a human needs the space and capacity for me to show up, like, I promise you, I just dip. I don't say anything. I dip. I'm out and everybody figure it out, because none of this matters. What we do today with the United for Wellness event, coming together and bringing this to you, and on the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But it matters on the one level when we, like Yolanda said, show up. It matters when we show up to advocate for someone else like Alicia said, in championing and creating a guiding strategy for someone. It matters that way. And so when we do that with the capacities that we have, and we're coming with real, genuine care, like, I love humanity and I want to be here for you, despite how I feel, despite what I want, despite the obstacles I'm going through, you do change the narrative for somebody. I want to ask you guys a question. In your life, can you guys give me an experience in how maybe somebody advocated for you when you couldn't advocate for yourself, or that you found yourself advocating for someone in a situation where they couldn't do it and you saw for yourself that the situation or the system would not be the appropriate way, or you saw that there was a different way to approach the situation? Whoever wants to take it off, we'll start.
I can.
Okay.
So I have two. I have one for me personally, and then one outside of myself for somebody else. So for me, it was, I had already lived a good amount of life, had my children, they were young adults. I mean, they're still young adults, but they were just into adulthood. I had a lot of change going on in my life, and I had just got to a point where the whole fake it till you make it thing really came to a head. I had been working and I'd been doing all the things that, you're supposed to do as a wife and a mother, and all of the things. And it got to a point where I didn't know who I was. I didn't even want to look at myself in the mirror because I didn't know who was looking back at me. If you asked me what I liked, I couldn't tell you. If you asked me what I wanted to be, I could not tell you. If you asked me what made me happy, I could not tell you. I could give you long lists of things that I didn't like, things that I hated, things that I didn't like done, but I could not tell you what I lost hope. I didn't have the ability to think outside of my struggle. And so me and Adela met in hair school. And, we graduated, we connected there, but we graduated and, you do your life, you do whatever. And then she started PHInc, and she had put some stuff out about, hey, if you want to help me do some things, show up at this event. And I wrote her and I was like, actually, yeah, I think I should show up to an event. Because in my mind, I was like, I know how to show up. That's the one thing ingrained in me was my work ethic. I can show up. That doesn't mean I maybe will be great at it. That doesn't mean that I will whatever, but I'm going to show up. So I show up and I look around and I'm taking it in and I'm dissecting things that are going on and I'm waiting for someone to tell me what to do because it's not my show and I don't run other people's things. And she's like, "Oh, just jump in." And as soon as she said that, then I did. Because again, it wasn't my show, it wasn't my thing.
But I make
So I
people
just started,
work.
yeah, so I just started doing stuff. And from then on, we started talking more. I started showing up more. And she literally came alongside me. This woman called me almost daily for months, just to make sure, like, I was getting out of bed, reminding me, hey, did you brush your teeth? Hey, did you go do something today? Hey, did you just move? Did you just move? It's okay if you can't, but like, what did you do today? To the point, like, we're 5 years deep now, right? And there were times that she would call me and just stay on the phone with me for 30 minutes because I need a body double sometimes. Like with my ADHD and stuff, it's hard for me to clean or whatever. But when I'm on the phone with her, I want to do something. Like she's ingrained in me when I hear her voice, I need to move. And so we talk on the phone. And it's to this day, sometimes we will talk on the phone and I will be walking around my home. I will take the dogs out. I will be doing something. I am moving because it's just ingrained now. But through coming alongside me and like little things here and there, I started to, through conversation, realize who I was, things that I liked. And it didn't happen overnight. I didn't get to that point overnight, right? I didn't get to the point where I just forgot about myself. I did a lot about like what Jennifer was talking about. I put everyone else first in the world. I mean, my coworkers, my bosses, my kids, my husband, their family, my family, any strangers, everyone before me. Self-care was not a thing. My unhappiness was not a thing. Like it just long life. I mean, I was in my mid 30s, right? I was in my mid 30s going through all this. Um, and now I'm in my early 40s and I'm just sitting here like, who was that? Like, when did I get lost? And to have somebody, especially somebody like me who I don't have a tribe, you know what I mean? Like I didn't find people like me. I couldn't find people like me. I tried to make friends, but I'm not really good at communicating as far as like reaching out and things like that. Out of sight, out of mind is a very real thing in my life. And so it was really hard for me to have meaningful relationships. And now I have obviously found some tribal people, if you want to call us that. Um,
We're a
I have
cult.
found, no, I'm not, no. But, and to this point, it's like I can't imagine my life without her, just as a friend. But if we go back into PHInc, I don't know that I can. It's so funny how the things that I've learned over the years, I put out to the world. Like I put them out not only to my husband and my children, to my friends, to strangers, people I just meet. And when I realize they're going through something, I remember the things that pulled me out, and I just say it because, like, and I don't always bring PHInc up because it's about the human experience. And then when we build those relationships, if they say, if there's a need, then for sure, always I'm going to pull out that little red envelope. You know what I mean? But for me, that was my personal thing. You know what I mean? And through that, again, so about a year ago, there was a woman that had a really bad situation. And let's just say I moved heaven and hell to get her out of it, organized it, got it done, did all the things in a day, got her and her children help, got her out, and that was that. And a lot of people had given up. A lot of people said that it wasn't something that you can do. But again, I'm really good at showing up. And when Mama Bear decides that Mama Bear is gonna put her little claws into something, she does it. And so that was there was a need, it needed to be filled, and I may be from a broken past, but I have, like Adela says, there's a huge resilience there. The strength that I've always had is allowed to come up, and I can be, the boldness in me doesn't have to be, how do I say that right? My sparkle, my shine doesn't have to be dimmed because I'm bold, because I will
Yeah.
take charge and do the things. I don't have to become less for the world. I'm allowed to shine brightly and go out and help and do the things. And it doesn't have to be publicized. Like I don't have to put it out there. I don't have to do that. I'm that person like I go somewhere and I'll take pictures occasionally, but for the most part, I don't have photographic pictures of everything I go to, everything I do, because I love living in the moment. Like I really love living in the moment. I mean, I love seeing people's pictures, but like,
But it took you a long time to get to
yeah.
living in the moment. That's the part of that
Hmm.
living in the moment now, and that's why like it's not about the conversation about think, just think, or we're here
Mm-mm.
about think. It's the Project Human is human. If you're talking
Hmm.
human and having a human conversation, you're talking Project Human. You're already living it and living that. It's a lifestyle. It's a decision to
Hmm.
make for that. And like you just proved, and you guys, we say this and I say this with all the love in my heart, and she knows this. She's my stubborn. She's my
I am.
stubborn. She's mine. It doesn't work. What are you talking about, Della? Like, no. And I'm always right. So like then there's a 5 year battle of like, I know I'm right. You're gonna listen to me to the point of like you're not right. So that's okay. But again, those conversations are what are needed to advocate not only for the self and the part of the advocacy not showing up the way you think you should show up for someone, but showing up just to show up for someone. Does anybody else have a story of advocacy that they want to share to how they've been advocated for or advocated for someone? Thank you for sharing, Yolanda.
I
I
can,
Yeah, you go ahead, Jen.
okay. I can relate, seeing an inspiring advocacy example outside of myself, that inspired me. I have a wonderful Zumba instructor named Tanya, and she has the biggest heart, and she's incredibly giving, with her time, with her focus, with her energy. And there have been multiple people in our classes, doing Zumba that have life events and situations outside of that class. And I've seen both firsthand and through those other people how she is helping them and building up their, um, self beliefs, helping them to see themselves as valuable, and worthy of being heard, and seeing the changes in their personality, seeing the growth of self-worth in the speaker's eyes. Um, and I see through those very close to me examples what it's like for a person to receive advocacy, to receive the gift of attention, the gift of presence, and how that can change a life, and how that person can then, in turn, with their own cup full, go and change others, invest in others. And it becomes this network branch off of positive impact that you could never have predicted by one person choosing to take a little bit of time and validate another. And I believe in that. And so I think that's one of the best examples, is not just what I've seen through myself, but what I see happening around me.
I love that. And like you said, and part of our mission isn't, yes, Adela wants to take over the world, you guys. My whole mission. What are we doing every day today, you guys? Pinky in the brain. Take over the world today. Okay, every single day. It's how do I take over the world, okay? However, I would rather be the most influential human being in my space and time and place, in my existence with the resources and availability and capacity I have, than to ever take over the world and be known to the world. Because to me, the human next to me, those 40 inches, that when you zero in on you 1 second and you recognize your worth and you recognize who you are and you learn how to advocate yourself and you gain information that you need and you educate yourself, you gain confidence, you gain structure, you gain peace, you gain stability, you gain all these things that you just don't see how you can get because they're not tangible, right? Like you can't hold structure so much and be like, here's structure. You can't say, hey, here's peace. This is what it looks like, because it doesn't show you that. It's an experience for everyone in a different way. So what your safety is, what my safety is, are two different safeties. What your structure is, what my structure is, too different. That's why it's important to define your narrative. That's why it's important to understand what you're speaking and where you're speaking. And that's why it's important to understand what advocacy really means, and not just showing up to sweep people or pick the trash up, or to like, advocating has to become more than just I don't mean to say that, but more than just picking up the trash, more than just coming through and saying, oh, I came and showed up one day for this and said this. Like, it's really a way of life and the way you decide to come up and show up for yourself. And the other part I wanna mention is that when Jen, you made it, you said it yourself so well. You see it. You see the impact it creates in those 40 inches just around you. You may not be participating in it, or you may not have the courage to participate in it, or you don't have a voice yet, or whatever the reason is that you're not there to do that. The fact that you can see it, or the fact that somebody can observe it and be impacted by it, you're already becoming an advocate because you're aware and you're receiving the information. You're willing to change your perspective and look at it and shift it from a different view. That's a start. So our challenge to you now, I guess today will be from all of us, I think everybody would agree, was to look around and open your eyes and see how advocacy is working for you around you, right? How people are using the words. How are you using your words? How are you speaking in that way? How are you advocating for the betterment of the human being, for the light and the joy of it versus the destruction that we all advocate for just because we feel like it and we want to have a tantrums, okay? That's again on Adela's little tantrum. She just had one this morning, so I'm just saying it. So before we move on to our next question of the discussion, which leads right into everything else we're doing, I do want to offer a minute into our chat to say hi. Or Alicia, did you have a story you wanted to share too? Because I thought you did before we move on. You did. Go ahead. Go share.
Yeah. So I definitely have been really fortunate. I think, there's multiple portions of my life that are important, but one that's always been important to me, to my husband's dismay, is my work life. And I've been very fortunate to have, some really great bosses, learn from some not so great bosses, but I definitely want to give shout out to one of my most recent bosses because I think that this is important. Not only was she an advocate for me next to me, but I know she was an advocate for me in rooms that I wasn't in. And I think that that is something that a lot of people don't necessarily have the capacity for because, they're only have enough, like Jen was saying, enough to fill their own cup. But when you do have the capacity to fill other people's cups as well, not like you do always have to focus on your own cup first. So please, you can't put anyone else's oxygen mask on if yours isn't on first. So please make sure to do that first. But when you do have the capacity to speak up for others, whether it be to hold their hand through tough times or to speak up for them in a room that they're not in, I think that that is important as well. And I think that that is something that I think necessarily isn't always something we discuss in society as much. That there's the cake doesn't get smaller just because somebody else has a piece. So, yeah,
I
that's my
love that.
little.
I love that. I need to step away for just a second. I am alone at home, you guys. So what I'm gonna have is, if you guys don't mind reading our comments and having a little discussion in our comments and saying hi to our guests who are here and saying hi to YouTube for a second. So I will step away for just a second. So if Jen, Alicia, Yolanda, and Seth, you guys can do that for me, that would be fantastic. I'll be right back. Y'all enjoy.
I really love what you said, Alicia, and I put it into the YouTube live stream chat. The cake doesn't get smaller just because someone else has a piece. Maybe the pieces get smaller, but more people are enjoying it.
Yeah.
So I think that when we talk about advocacy, we have to think about there are many, many, many different types of advocates. There are advocates who are professional advocates, advocates who are just peer-to-peer friendly advocates, parents, teachers, um, social workers. There are many, many different types. From the lens of advocacy, it's not just about in a formal tone, it's an informal tone. Yolanda, your story about being advocated for and then in turn turning yourself into an advocate um, shows us that we all have advocacy in our blood. It's a potential that we have as being in social situations. It's something that is intrinsic to us. You could see it in a big brother or a big sister advocating for their little brother or little sister if a bully is picking on them. You could see it in someone going up to get a drink at a bar, maybe, and there's someone short behind them who can't get the bartender's attention, and you just want to say, this person behind me would like, a Budweiser or a beer or something. Um, but it's in all kinds of forms. So I think what we can do now is just kind of give a formal definition of what an advocate means. A person who publicly supports or recommends a particular cause or policy, or to advocate as a verb, to speak or write in favor of, to support or urge by argument. So what we've discussed so far about folks publicly supporting, it could even be privately supporting. It does not need to be a formal advocate. And advocating itself is speaking and writing in favor of. That speaking and writing can show up in direct communication. That might be in confrontational scenarios. It could be in non-confrontational scenarios, private scenarios where it's just a conversation between friends, or conversations between family members, confidants. It's truly showing up. So Adela, I see that you're back. We've been discussing all the ways that advocacy can show up in our lives, both formally, informally, professionally, and from peers. And I shared our definitions of advocate as a noun and as a verb. Maybe we can shift and talk about the various types of formal advocates that are out there, such as in the mental health field, human scope, and from a PHInc lens. What do you think?
And I just realized I talked and then I muted myself on our live stream, you guys, for a second. So we're going to go back for a second. I apologize for that 30 seconds of that. But again, we're going to talk about advocacy and mental health, and go to our mental health, or go to our YouTube, go to our homepage, click on the mental health resource information button. You'll find resources information that you need right there. See, this is why I can't step away and come back and manage and do everything all at once, because the brain does not know how to do and press buttons at once, and everybody needs help. So thank you. We've already established that we were going to have a moment of that. So that's the fact that that's the worst, and it was me that was muted. Why would we need anybody? Why would we not mute me? Okay, I talk too damn much anyway. So yes, let's ask this question of, I want to talk about the types of advocacy, and then I want us to end it with, how do those types of advocacies work in unison together, and how do they bring and unite the community together to make the changes that are necessary? So let's start off by saying the type of advocacy that we have in the mental health field. And in there, we have champions for clients, meaning that those humans are people who are going to go and fight for their rights, fight for their rights for timely, fair treatment and access to resources. So that's legislation. That's being and making sure that they come and advocate for them in their doctor space, or something that they can't potentially come into, right? The more serious portions of that, to be a champion of someone, is to be able to stand up for them when they can't, right? Like really dissect the things that they can't do. You also, in a professional, in the mental health professional field, and this also goes into the human scope and especially our PHInc scope, is to help end the stigma. Right? One of the questions we have is, and we're going to ask is, what are some of the challenges and the stigmas that we have to face? Right? So let's ask that real quick. And on a quick one, Alicia, what's one challenge that comes to your top of your head, and one stigma that's like right off the bat when we think of mental health?
Yeah, I think everybody just thinks if somebody says that they're in a bad place that they think that they're crazy, and then so it makes it difficult for people to even speak up for themselves.
Yolanda.
I think um, the world makes it seem as though doctors can fix everything, right? You get a broken arm, a foot, or whatever, go to the doctor. Why are you not going to the doctor? Why are you just letting it fester, right? But when it comes to mental health, they think, oh, just suck it up. Suck it up. Like deal with it, just like Alicia was saying. And it's like, when are we gonna just start realizing that our brain is our biggest organ? And how are we just going to justify letting it fester? Like, well, I guess it's not our biggest organ. Our skins are big, our second biggest organ. You know what I mean?
Look,
Anyway,
Seth
sorry.
gave you that look. Seth was like,
Yeah, no, I
listen,
just
I got something to say. I'm going to correct that real quick.
I
He
was
put
like, I
that.
don't
I
know if
saw
I
The
should
your, I
moderator
bring
saw
out
your,
of it,
stepped in.
my brain was is again. But
I
see,
didn't
yeah.
want to
this is
derail you.
where
No, go ahead.
Hey,
but this is
fact
where we
checking
become
right there.
comfortable. Well, this is where we become comfortable in realizing that, like, some of us are neurodivergent, some of us are not neurodivergent, and we'll pick up on cues. Like, exactly. I saw his face. I was like, "What was that?" I was like, "Oh no, it's our skin," and then it's our brain. But again, it's not even. The thing is when I'm talking about it, that's the most important thing I'm thinking about, because I mean, we could be without our skin and that would suck. But if we're without our brain, we're not living. Like we're gone. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how are we not talking about fostering care for something that literally runs our whole body? Like we update our computers, we update our smartphones, we update all this stuff. So why are we not updating ourselves and each other with information that could potentially bring betterment to our lives? I'm
Look at the preach, 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 preach.
I'm
Look
just
at
saying.
you. Oh, articulations. Let's
Oh, my
Yeah.
go.
articulation. Ooh, I'm
I
articulate.
love that. It's definitely like a taboo to talk about. Like I know for instance, they talk about how meditation is really like exercising your mind and trying to strengthen your mind, but when people talk about meditation with people who aren't familiar with it, they kind of like roll their eyes and thinks it's like, wah wah, like hoo like hippie stuff. And I think that like society is definitely becoming better at like appreciating the need for it. Like I know there's definitely some schools that are starting to teach it for elementary school, which I think is amazing. Like that's so great. But, I think in, the people who haven't grown up learning about that and haven't grown up thinking about it, I think that, even just talking about like, oh yeah, I meditated today, like that's so important because if it's somebody who hasn't heard somebody say that before, they start to realize that it's the same thing as going to the gym. So,
Right. And right before I ask Jen what her obstacle and challenge is, I want to point on that meditation. Meditation is a thing, like you said, when somebody used to tell me that all the time, I'd be like, I don't meditate. My brain is 1,001 miles away. There's no way you're going to catch me sitting there going kumbaya. Like, it's just not going to happen. And you guys know I'm right because you can't catch me sitting. Jen will offer me 1,001 times. Do you want to take a minute and decompress? And I'm like, no. But let me tell you what my meditation is: vacuuming my floor, making lines on my floor, and making sure that they're straight and it's clean. And like, that's
that's
what I'm doing
active
tomorrow.
meditation.
My
Yep.
meditation tomorrow is washing my carpet for the day because I've had a full week of mind busyness and craziness that I can't keep up. So my meditation in action, absolutely meditation in action. So some of us can't sit still, right? So when people say meditation, oh my God, they get scared. And that's one of the stigmas because you instantly think you have to stop, pause, like whatever. That was my fear too. Instead, again, we go back to the define the narrative of your words. What does it look like, mean like, feel like, work like for you? There are words that have definitions that actually make sense to your life. Don't overthink it. Don't over create it. Don't over analyze it. Like the advocacy part, you act, you
Breathe.
show up, you do, you breathe, like should now too, but you do that. And those moments when you're in action and when you're moving and when your mind and your brain settle to a point where it's at peace and it's like, oh, I got this, this is good. You're meditating. It doesn't have to look like somebody, like I said, like we do the retreats and the cults, let's go and I do it, guys. I kumbaya all the time, but not the way that, again, most people would want to, because it doesn't work for me. And so if it doesn't work for you, don't get discouraged. Don't get afraid. Look at it from a different perspective. What does it mean to me? How can I apply it to me? And if it doesn't work, what did work out of it? Okay, that's the education part. That's the part where you're informing yourself and educating and rewiring and re-updating your brain and all these other things that we just talked about. Jen, what are some of the obstacles you've hit up on as an, or seen, or challenges in this mental health field, the stigmas?
I'm going to take it from a professional lens. I spent nearly 20 years in consulting with Big Four and also boutique consulting. And there is a lot of pressure that comes with being perfect, showing up as perfect, being all business all the time. And not until the last maybe 4 or 5 years, even in the consulting business, did it start to be accepted that there are individuals with different learning styles, that are there are individuals with emotional needs that can't fit the classic three-piece suit, gray, black, blue closet mold. Um, I started to embrace myself in new ways. I started with hair color. I tend to be a very colorful person. So I went from what I called a corporate blonde with pumps and a three-piece suit to I've had all kinds of different colors hair, but it allowed me to breach that stigma of I'm not a professional if I don't dress a certain way, if I don't have the look, if I don't fit the mold. And I tell people I'm paid from my brain. It's what's up here and the extensive experience that I had, not what I'm wearing or what color my hair is. You're still getting all of that professional expertise. And it wasn't until I gave myself that kind of permission to reach around the stigma and be willing to show up for myself, believe in myself, advocate for myself, my qualities, my experience. And so I would say, from a professional lens, for anyone who is fighting stigmas, um, fighting imbalances in fairness in the workplace, that you can stand up for yourself and you can show up as yourself. And there are more and more protections and programs and policies that are also advocating for you to be able to do that. So that's where I would like to take it from.
I love it. And I want to pinpoint to something that stuck with me with what you just said. You said you gave yourself permission to. And I think that's the one thing that we don't understand when we talk about the words or the things that we have, what this brain, what this narrative that we've already been created with, that we've been established with, if you will, is saying. It's saying that you don't have permission to. You don't have permission to exist. You don't have permission to breathe in a way. You don't have a permission to think in a way. You don't have permission to move, act, sing, whatever it is in a certain way, because we've decided what a person is supposed to look like. And for everybody who doesn't know this yet, for me, I do not like people. I do not like people. I do not like personas. I love human beings. I love human beings. And for those who are human beings, understand that concept. Those who are people will get offended. And that's the part of you that I don't like, is because you get offended. Because there's a part of you in your persona, in your people, in your caricature. So if you look at the definition, again, redefine what something means, understand and how to apply it to you. A person is a persona. It's got characters to be built upon because of what society says deems fit to be for you. And then you come in as a person, as a people, to fit into this group, to fit into this society by this structure that's been faced. A human being, on the other hand, is literally the most complex species, existence, being, life, part of that outside of God, the creator himself. That's outside of that. We, the human beings, are the most complex thing. And yet we treat ourselves as the most insignificant, unable, incapacitated people because we don't give ourselves the permission to be human. And again, we treat ourselves as those people instead of a human being with the capacity, with the ability, with the power, with the light, because a being is that. It is an existence. A person is a character who fits a role, an identity, a label to fit into this life and make it 9 to 5 or make it through this moment and make it through the second. And we're not given the freedom to have that conversation as a person, to explore those characteristics, to explore those narratives, to explore those different venues. I can't wait for you guys to see the moment of the teaser, because you get to see Adela be the person and a persona and then become a human. And that's like so cool to see, because you give yourself permission. What Jen said, if you take nothing away from this conversation, okay, if you take nothing away from anything we do, take away that you have to be willing to give yourself permission to decide to change the reality of your life. None of us can give you that permission. None of us can give you that. We can give you inspiration. We can give you hope. We can give you ideas. We can give you guidelines. We can give you resources. We can give you the hug you need. But we cannot make you decide you are worth the effort, that you are willing to give yourself permission to live this life in the way that you have designed it to be the benefit for you, and the way you can be a benefit then to society. So on that note, that's how you advocate and become a certified nuisance, by giving yourself permission to understand that your life experiences, your stories, your way of existence only lead to what, you guys? Resilience. Only lead to resilience. Only lead to more confidence. Only again lead to more courage and structure and everything you've ever wanted. But it requires you giving yourself permission to be accountable, to be responsible, not be afraid of those words, to be committed, to be disciplined, not be afraid of those words, to be structured, to be organized. Again, not be afraid of those words. Okay, so you guys, we have made it through our first hour of conversation, and we're doing so good that we're going to go ahead and take just a second of a break on our end over here, and then we're going to move into our second hour of conversation in about 3 minutes. So we will be right back, my dear friends. And welcome back to our second hour of the conversation. And we're really, really, really excited about that too, because we have started talking about what does an advocate mean? What does an advocate do? How does an advocate amplify the voices? And how do you become an advocate for yourself? What does that look like? Now we're going to talk about how unity fuels community and advocacy, resulting in the stigma reduction around mental health. What does it mean? How do we amplify the voice? Like, what kind of resources do we share? And then we're going to go ahead and see how, when we unite together and share that collective responsibility, that we build bridges and build that resilience, which is then going to lead us into our accomplishments of the conversations. And that will be pretty exciting for that too. I do want to pick up, because in our little break, we had a moment, and I want to pick up about something that we just had discussion, and I think it's really important to share for a second. So we left off with, you give yourself permission, and Yolanda came back with, well, now it's the responsibility. And so if you give yourself permission to do, now you're responsible for that permission you've given yourself to do, to act upon it. So be accountable, be responsible for that. And I wanted to share that because I think it's a really, really, we talk about accountability, responsibility, discipline, commitment. We talk about those things, but when you give yourself permission, you have to give yourself permission to learn how to actually utilize those words and how to apply them to your life and not be afraid of them, because that means time management, and we get very scared about that. That means giving up control of society and controlling ourselves, and that's a lot scarier than we think it is. So again, if you give yourself permission, you're also taking on the responsibility to be accountable for what it is you gave yourself permission to. So kudos for that little tidbit in that back forth conversation. You guys, I really appreciate that. You guys, we have so many gems we always drop whenever we're in that moment of just freedom of conversation. And that's why we love having it. We love having it. All right. So let's go ahead and ask that question. Back to our question of, how does unity fuel community, and how does fuel community and advocacy together, and help in reducing the stigma around mental health and around the conversations? So we'll start off with the conversation. How do you guys think coming together as a unit, like we are right now in a collective voice, how do we think that changes the conversation or reduces the stigma on mental health? I'm so sorry. 1 second, we're doing good, but could we just check if we're streaming our audio on our stream? Can we hear ourselves on the stream? Can we hear you guys? Because I'm not picking it up over here, and I want to make sure. I know, pause. Welcome, guys. Yep. We're going to pause for a second. I'm going to pause us. Okay, bear with us for just a second, you guys. I have to be the one to fix audio because that's my job, and bear with me. Because somehow I seem to have messed that up. So we're gonna do that live. Can somebody do a test? Nope, that did not come through. Bear with me. here we go. If anybody wants to volunteer and be a production manager and an audio manager over here for me, I would greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it because, well, here we go. We need to. So let's do this and let's do one more and let's try. Anybody else can do a test?
Test.
There
Testing
we
1,
go.
2,
We're
3.
back, you guys. We're back. It only just takes a second. I will figure it out. So we may on our third hour have the same problem. So bear with me because, again, we tested this and we did the parts and then here we go, right? We did this, guys. We did it and then here we go. All right. Back to our conversation. Okay, Yolanda, I see you. What's up?
Okay, there. Just in case, because I just realized it on my YouTube. It says to join the live chat, but I can't actually join the live chat.
Okay.
And I'm logged into my
Scroll-
normal accounts and stuff, so I don't know if other people are having that issue potentially. So,
So scroll down to the left bottom side of your screen underneath the description. There should be a live chat where it says open panel on the bottom.
yep.
And it's grayed out.
It's blanked out. It's grayed
Mhm.
out.
Oh, you have to
And
log
then
in.
at the top of your screen on the right hand now,
Hmm.
there you should see the chat. And you scroll down to the bottom of the chat and there's a gray chat field.
No. It's just you guys.
It might have been part of registration.
Did you subscribe?
Yeah.
Okay, it's okay. Keep writing, keep trying. Again, it's our first one. You want to be my helper and technical helper? Please do. I asked my husband, who's the IT guy. He said if I wanted to do it, I'd do it for myself. So here we are. I'm doing it for myself because I want to do it. But if you want to do it for me because you love what you do and it's like your favorite thing to do, like,
We can use your help.
we could use your help. Absolutely. So let's go back to the beginning of the portion of the conversation. We were talking about unity and how it fuels a community. And Miss Alicia, if you remember what you were saying before technical difficulties, I would appreciate the thought to come back in the train to come back at the station.
Yeah. So this was my favorite part, so it's easy for me to pull back up, and I apologize if I'm repeating myself, but I think that the more people that speak, the more it can affect. So like, even if you think that you're coming and saying the same thing, it might affect someone differently just because of one word that you change. It might affect someone differently because of the tone that you're speaking in or something like that. And not only that, but I think that everybody feels a little bit more safe to speak when other people are on the same wavelength as them. And I think also I'm a big believer in vibrations. And I think that the more people that vibrate at the same level, I think that we can all amplify each other's vibrations as well. So that's my take on it.
I love it. Jen?
Nothing to add. I think we've covered it pretty well.
Perfect. Yolanda?
Um, I think pretty much what she's talking about, the same thing as well. Um, Sometimes you have people who are more shy or more reserved, or people who are more, loud and bold like us. And it sometimes they get overclocked, and so when they see somebody who is a little bit more outspoken talk about the same things that they want to talk about, it gives them this like sense of like reassurance that, oh, like I'm not the only one. I can do this. Like I can do it, especially when you stop and go, you know what? Hey, you have the floor. Go ahead. Like it's okay. Um, and I just, yeah, 100%.
I wanted
Same
to
thing.
add to what you guys said too. Part of us coming together is being as a collective responsibility and a collective accountability of what we say and what we do and how we, show up for each other. Meaning that if one says, hey, I am going to speak this way, I'm going to walk this way, I'm going to talk this way around our community or around the people around us, that we as that individual around that being do be like, hey, just a nudge. You said you would do these. You said you would act this way. Hey, just a nudge. Let me be honest with you. You said you gave yourself permission to, but you're not taking responsibility and accountability. So we'd really want to put you back on that track. That does not make you a bad human being. That does not make, you should not be afraid to tell the honest truth about somebody when their words don't match their narrative. Because when we don't do that and we don't, be responsible, accountable that way for somebody, that doesn't mean you're pointing other negatives, you guys. I just want to make sure you do that. It doesn't mean you're pointing other negatives. It doesn't mean you're harping on them or doing that. It's you're pointing out where their words don't match their action or what they said they would do and helping them navigate it. But then at the same time, on the flip coin, right, we are really good at that. We're really good at telling people when they're not doing their job, when they're not doing a good thing, or when they're really sucking. We're really, 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 really great at that. But what about the other part? What about the flip side of telling people, and as a collective, accountability, responsibility, when they're doing a really good job, when they're winning on the small scales, when they're winning on the big scales? How do we share and advocate for triumph and resilience as a collective or as an individual? That will be my next question, because it will lead us into the PHInc's accomplishments and milestones that we've done, because as a collective, we'll hold each other accountable to show up. So let me ask you guys on that. How can we change and flip the script and redefine the narrative when we talk about the responsibility and accountability of mental health and holding those around us, doing it that way, but not in the negative form? Like, how do we share the triumphs? Because I think that, again, we don't see those enough. We don't give enough opportunity for people to see when they're winning. And so when we're constantly harping on the bad, they can't hold on to the good, right? They can't hold on to the little nuggets of gold that they have to build up their bridge, to build up their rope, to build up something or a ladder that they need to walk out of. So is there a story or a way you guys could share or start sharing about that?
So I think holding yourself responsible to spark the light for change. So I'm a big believer in the butterfly effect. I think that, like, if you smile at somebody when they're having a bad day, my dad has the philosophy to say that he's terrific even if he's having a horrible day, because that responsibility that he holds himself to changes the way that other people look at things as well. So I think, holding yourself responsible to share the light in the world. I think smiling at someone, telling someone their hair looks beautiful, telling them someone that their earrings are beautiful, telling, something that they've done is a success for the day. It might be something so small in your brain, but it might be something that really changes their day and changes their life. So, just hold yourself responsible for noticing the good things in the world and sharing them.
I love that.
What Alicia is describing is complementary frequency, to bring a different frequency to someone who may be vibing on a little bit more sludge in the air kind of level. Maybe they're feeling pretty low, but reminding them that there are positives, not toxic positivity, but saying, let me shine a light on a space that you might not see. It's here, but you're not looking at it. So if you've got a negative perception, maybe you didn't get the job. Okay. Maybe that job isn't meant for you. Maybe that boss or that coworker would have been a terribly toxic situation for you. Maybe there's something that's so much better waiting for you, and you can change your perspective from that of loss or depression or frustration or anger into hope and aspiration and positive intent. And that can be catching enough that maybe your next interview says, oh my gosh, what wonderful energy. I need this person on my team, rather than the defeatism. So there are ways of shifting a perspective, of allowing the potential for good instead of focusing on the things that have brought us down or that have hurt us. It doesn't mean that those aren't important things. There's plenty of time to think through those, to give them their moment, but they do not define who we are as a human. And separating ourselves from those negative things, those negative feelings, and allowing ourselves to see in honesty the 100% of the picture. I'm just using that to kind of bring up the vibration of ourselves and people around us, and training ourselves with that permission to see the good in the world and the responsibility.
I love that. I love that we got permission, we took responsibility, and now we're going to be accountable for the consequences of our reality. Like all those words we get so afraid of, but they make up something really, really, really powerful, like really powerful. Yolanda.
I think that we have to have a sense of vulnerability and humility when we deal with our fellow humans. I think it's really easy for us to put our guard up and to put a wall up to say, you know what, I'm not going to let this person in. I'm not going to let them tear me down. I'm not going to do all these things. Um, and remember, we've all been there. We've all been in a place that's potentially negative, potentially harmful, potentially life destructing. You know what I mean? Like it's, and I was just talking to Adele about this the other day about this image of like when you're frustrated with a person, when you want to punch a person, you want to whatever, think of them as an infant in your arm. And when they're that baby in your arm and you're taking all that frustration, hostility and everything, can you put that down to realize that this innocent being in your arms, although it may have hurt you, it doesn't deserve that lash, like that backlash. And I think that's a huge thing for us is like putting down our own pride, putting down our own reserve of fight or flight, and realizing that we can come to someone more vulnerable with our heart on the sleeve and be humble about it, but at the same time have boundaries. Boundaries that doesn't dictate, hey, I'm never going to talk to you, I'm not going to whatever. It's just saying, hey, so I can be safe in the way that I'm speaking to you and leading you. I have to have these here. And so if this conversation is not going in a good direction, we're just going to go ahead and pause that and I'm going to step away from it because like I can't be put in that position because we all know we could be the end of somebody's day. And that's not a good place to leave someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
It literally takes one kind. You know how many people I've gone through a drive-through or I've just been in a store and someone smiles and I just go, "Oh my gosh, look at that." Like that, oh, wow, that's a great. And I run up to them like an idiot because my husband's like, "You're so weird." I'll just run in a store, I'll run at strangers. I'll be like, "I just have to tell you, your smile is just so gorgeous. Oh my gosh, you're just glowing today, men and women." I'm an equal
Human
opportunity
beings.
compliments. Yeah, for sure.
And
But
when my
sometimes
husband first met me, he thought I was being fake. And I'm like, oh no, I only say it if I really believe it.
And people think I'm fake too. And then my husband says,
Mhm.
stop collecting strays. He means that human beings, because I do that. Not only do I
Me
collect
too.
strays, pets, but I
Yeah.
collect human beings as strays. And
Mhm.
again, I'm like, look at this. Yes. So
She has a PDF file of all of us and our
I
triumphs.
do. I do. It's wins with a sticky note right next to it that goes, you got it.
Winning.
Really?
So yeah, I
So
think that's our biggest thing.
let's talk about how we as PHInc have had some awesome wins.
Heck yeah. Leading right into that. Leading right into, I love it. Leading right into the resilience. So again, unity of responsibility, accountability, giving yourself permission, advocating for yourself, and standing up, educating yourself, informing yourself, all lead to what? Winning, all lead to accomplishment, all lead to milestones, not only with, again, with our organization and what we've just did, but that's because of our own personal wins are we able to win at the organizational level, right? So what are some of the wins that we've had this year alone, just this year alone? So this year alone, we have this is what month are we on? We're in July. Sorry guys, I haven't celebrated and it's been insane. I was in a car accident 3 months ago. I'm still dealing with all that stuff, plus all the other things that you want to do. Again, triumph and resilience, man. You don't get to come at me. I promise you. I can't wait to share that story with y'all. That's another tangent, but that's part of the advocacy part. That's part of the advocacy and part of winning it. So what did we do? Project Human PHInc has celebrated its 8th birthday. I can't believe that I'm here. We're here for the 8th year. Let me tell you, and this is going back all the way full circle, coming up to our fashion fundraiser, the Runway to Resilience, because on our first year as Project Human, we decided to launch I decided to launch because I thought it was the stuff. We decided to launch our a fashion runway because to talk about mental health and through fashion to bring awareness to what we were doing. So Scan Design, if you guys don't know who that is a furniture store here in Jacksonville. It's a very prestigious furniture store. I used to work there, and they were so gracious to me. I have to give a huge shout out to them. They're still around. Go check them out if you can afford them. I can't, but they're great. I mean, it is what it is, but they were so gracious to give me and donate me their space on my very first year of the event to be able to utilize at their level to bring a community in together to talk about this, to have my son on the side with me, to have my husband, to have my family, to have my friends, to have my head shaved on the side, to be telling people I knew what I was doing like I knew what I was doing, to be bossing people around like I was, and not even close to the narrative that I have today, mind you, okay? So I apologize for those in the past. But now here we are in the Growth and Resilience 8 years later. We have not only completed as Project Human a full infrastructure in our organization of where we're going and what we're doing, a really solid infrastructure, but we've also completed multiple projects. Number one, the Rebirth Project, where we talk about suicide awareness and sharing and valuing yourself and really having that conversation about that, because that's so important. And that leads us into our events, and that leads into what we really are here for, to save a life. Then we did the Checkmate Project, which was standing up against the restrictions of society. When society says you can't, Adela says we do. So what did we do? COVID said we can't do anything. We can't create art. We can't come together. We did exactly that. We came together, we created art, and we had the community from a dojo up in Orange Park to let us use their space, to Olive Garden and Firehouse and other businesses donating their food to help us make this happen. Like, that was insane. That's just the beginning of what we did, right? And then we started the documentary. And this year we have a teaser for the documentary, and that's been 7 years in the works. One of the reasons why I'm telling you this little history of the milestones and the way we're doing is so you understand that it takes time. It takes commitment. It takes discipline. It takes fighting through all the things, all the no's, all the negatives, all the setbacks. And my team will tell you even the amount of setbacks we've had, even through the setback we just had with our audio. It means fighting through and going like, now we got it. We win. It doesn't matter because we showed up. So we did all of that. We kept showing up. We kept showing up. We kept showing up. I kept showing up. And here we are a year after now, a year into also the launch of our podcast. So The Artist Within has celebrated its very first year. We have 1 year on the books. We have over 30 episodes. Over 30 episodes, you guys. First of all, when I started with the Artist Within podcast, it's been a 4-year in the making process. I have dissected it. I have looked at it. I have said, this is the worst thing I've ever created. This is the best thing I've ever created. I have sat in there, looked at my logos, looked at stuff going, what the hell are you thinking? This is never going to happen. I have the production level. Everything had to be perfect before I could ever even come to you, right? The part that I lost in all of those 4 years while I was perfecting stuff was that the conversation was the most important. But during that perfection, I learned what the value of conversation was. So now we have over 30 episodes of conversation from the community, from artists, from different walks of life that you get to go listen to, that you get to hear a different perspective from, that you get to hear a story, right? Adela may say something to you, and I may be saying the same thing for 5 years, but you may hear the same conversation in 30 seconds that can change your whole life, just because, like we've mentioned before, and as Jen has mentioned before, that we think differently, we function differently, we process differently. We are not here to be all the same and exist the same. So the Artist Within, and we haven't launched this portion yet, but we will be having some merch coming in there for you. But the Artist Within is the idea that you are the creator within your own life. You define your narrative. You define your experience. You are the being who has the control of the pen, paper, marker, whatever story you want to write. You have it. That is what the Artist Within is. That is what the idea was behind the podcast, behind the stories, behind the platform, behind any of that. So if you're not listening, if you're not sharing, or if you do want to share your voice and you do want to be a part of it, let me know. Go check it out. Go listen, leave us comments and all that stuff. Because again, as I mentioned earlier, we're at 500 downloads. First of all, for Adela to be at 500 downloads in her first year, on top of all her other ADHD massive stuff that I'm doing, on top of all the other stuff, thank you. Thank you. You love me. You really, really love me. I'm the pick me girl. Never seen it. I just know that they have those things, right? So you love me. Thank you guys. You also have, because of the 500 downloads and because of the conversation we have 165 subscribers on our YouTube channel. And I say 65 because somebody's subscribing today. If you're not, because it's 164, so you better subscribe today. I'm making that into fruition. So subscribe. If you're not, hit that little button right down there. It's right there. Hit it, subscribe. You'll get the notifications. And when we go live with our podcast, when we go live with our events, when we go live with our monthly community conversations, or when we just share anything. Also, when we're releasing teasers, like our teaser that's coming up. So just so you know, that's all right there too, under our YouTube channel. But those are just some of the milestones that we did. And those are like the big ones and that we've shared that you guys have heard about and what we're doing, right? The minor ones that we haven't even shared yet and we haven't even talked about are that Project Human has been featured in 2 international magazines, Pump Magazine and Kazajar Magazine, both in which we talk about how the fabric of life is woman in everything that we do, how our energies, how our existences, we've talked about frequencies, how all of that create a form, create a shape, create a fabric, create a blanket of something, whether that's a blanket of feeling, blanket of action, or a blanket of an idea. It doesn't matter. It creates something, right? And with that, I want to share with you just a quick little write-up of what one of the magazines has said. By the way, and the reason why I'm saying this is because I didn't write this. So y'all know. We had to answer the questions. We had to write up our own stuff because you know how interviews go. We've been featured full-length interviews. We have the links for you guys. We'll add them to the chat. We'll add them in our thing, so you can go check them out too. You could go purchase the magazine. You can support the mission. We don't get anything from this purchase. We don't get anything. We're not sponsoring any of that stuff, but it is a publication. It does give us more awareness and brings us to more eyes and brings us to more views and more people, and that's what we really care about, because at the end of the day, that's what our mission's about. So I really want to just read this to you guys, because this is from the Pump Magazine, and again, we'll be sharing this with you guys on all of our stuff, but I want to just take a second to listen. It says, self-made, stitch by stitch, weaving art, advocacy, and emotional truth into new kind of fashion narrative. From the very first moment, her presence demands attention, weaving a narrative that transcends fashion and art to touch the deepest realms of human experience. Through her work, she channels trauma into beauty, vulnerability into strength, and personal history into universal call for healing. This is not merely a conversation about style or creativity. It is an invitation to witness how art becomes a lifeline, a radical act of survival, and a catalyst for change. A designer, a photographer, and a founder of Project Human, it says my name, so Adela Hatel, does more than breathe into being. She meticulously stitches the neural pathways of identity into a renewed tapestry of selfhood. Forged in the fires of survival, her work pulses with raw authenticity and quiet intensity that sparks beyond expression, layered and complex, and profoundly alive. The reason why I wanted to share that with you guys with that part is because, first of all, I've never thought of myself that way. Nobody's like to think of myself and like, hey, Adela. That's why I couldn't even say my name, Adela, in there, and her profound. Like, it just couldn't. But it's so cool to have another organization, another being, another entity see us and what art does and why it's important, because it's not about the photography. It's not about the stitch of the fabric. It's not about this production that we do and how good we look. It's not about the merch we're about to drop on you guys. It's not about the fashion fundraiser we're going to have, or like, it's nothing about that. It is about the connection we create. It is about the experience we create. It is the fact that we as humanity one-on-one come together, and because of that art, because of that experiences, we are bonded forever. We are bonded in ways that we may never know, we may never need, we may never understand. We are bonded because it requires us to push past our limitations. Art requires us to face truths that we would never face before, that we would never look at. It requires us to look at our vulnerability as a strength instead of a weakness. It requires us to look at our strengths as an ability to become a downfall for us if we don't understand the capacity of it. So my strengths to be the go-getter and the hustler and all these things in my life almost killed me. Literally, physically almost killed me. And all because I'm a hustler, baby. Not really. And Not even close, but I tried and I pretended and I lied and I faked it and I faked it till I made it, and I did not make it anywhere but almost early to my grave. And when we talk about life and we talk about living here, we have to love this experience and this challenge, and we have to love every part of that so that we can be resilient, we can be here. And again, having that little feature and having that moment, it just says this next portion where it says she transcends superficial fleeting aesthetics, serving as a conduit for reclamation, a revival of voice, a recalibration of selfhood, and a healing that reaches deep into the blueprint of the soul. In a world that often reduces mental health to infographics and sterile campaigns, Hittel creates immersive, soul-driven spaces where a photograph becomes a reckoning, a runway becomes a rebirth, and a well-tailored garment is as much of an armor as they are art. And so that's what, again, when we talk about resilience, Runway to Resilience, in our fashion show, and this next collaboration that I want to mention and what we just did and share with you guys, the behind the scenes and everything else in between, and announce that our event is live now on our webpage, on our homepage. Go to our events section, and right there you'll see Runway to Resilience, and you can go ahead and get your tickets right off the bat right now. Go ahead and get them and be part of the show. Also, we're also inviting you right now. This is an open call to all designers, artists, photographers, vendors, anybody who wants to be interested in creating portions of it. I promise you, if you don't think you have any artistic ability or capacity, I promise you do. And if you don't think you can know how to do a job, they'll test it, we'll vouch for it, we put you in, you'll be able to do it, and we will not make you feel hard or make you feel bad about it or make it difficult. I promise you, because I did that to most of the team here that's here for what we're about to talk about at ACEN Aviation. So all of these things, now that we know what an advocate means, now that we know how to advocate, now that we know how it leads to resilience, now that we know that we need to have a mental health day, because you never know what a mental health day would lead to. This Pump magazine and this collaboration of a fashion design that we did while we were working on the documentary was all because of a mental health day. And that mental health day, in 3 hours of what we did, led us to 2 publications, led us to have a short little trailer for this, and then led us to the idea that, you know what, we need to create a fashion show and talk about what it means to walk and then to run to resilience, and what it means to take flight within yourself and then within the community. And all, again, because Adela has a crazy idea of, I want to have a fashion show, let's go in the desert and be a delicate flower and grow from it. How do we make this happen? Adela, it's difficult, but can we do it? Yes. Okay. That's all I care about, is the yes. Can we do it? Yes. I don't care how. So we're going to lead into that on how, because now we have to talk about the how we got to ACEN Aviation, how we got to the Runway Resilience, and why it's important, and what the experience has been behind the scenes, because we're just in the planning phases of the show right now and what we're going to bring to you. But there's been a campaign we did, which we will launch a video. We were going to do it today, but again, life, we're not perfect. Things don't make it always on time, and you have to go with the flow. And just because one thing doesn't work your way does not mean you stop the show. It means you keep going and moving forward, and no matter what, you keep moving forward. So that's what we're going to do. So sometime between now and next week, we're going to drop the actual teaser for the Fashion Runway Resilience fundraiser. But in the meantime, while we start talking about that, I want you guys on our YouTube channel to take a look at our behind the scenes videos while I ask a question of our team members. First of all, what your experience was when we were working with ACEN Aviation, because first of all, Herlong, shout out to Herlong Airport and ACEN Aviation. I walked in and I was like, hey guys, I have an idea. I need this space for like a week from now because I'm last minute with everything in my life. And here's what we're going to do. Here's how we're going to do it. I have people flying in. We have people flying in. Could we work this out? And they said, yes, Adela, but here are your limitations. I said, of course, I'll take all my limitations, you guys, right? I was like, we can't do this, guys, and we can't do this, you guys, and we can't do this, you guys, and we can't do this, you guys. And then they came back and said, Adela, we can do this for you, and you can do this, and you can do this, and you can do this. And guess what we did? We did a lot of it. I even climbed a plane, you guys. It's exciting. So I can't wait to show you that video, share with you that experience of it. But again, in the meantime, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the experience of creating a campaign of an artist, because this is the first time our new team members have been a part of it as well. Our old team members have been part of it for a while, but our new ones have gotten to experience with these projects, these are projects that are long-term projects. These are called our creative project initiatives. And this is what we do. We come up with an idea, we come up together, and then we as a collective and a unity create something using a blueprint and a map way and a roadmap for you to be able to grow right through the project. Not just for you to come and be like, I'm here to assist and help or whatever, but what do you want to gain? How do you want to learn? What do you want to be in there? But here we go, and we're going to do all that stuff. So without further ado, let's take a look at this BTS while whoever wants to take it off. Let me actually ask Alicia and Jen to take it off first, because Yolanda, you've been around the block with me. So you guys are new to our projects. You guys are new to our stuff. So whoever wants to go first, let me know your experience of coming on to our Project Human project and your thoughts and process of from the PDF to the end.
I will totally jump in with first timers, first impressions. I've never been a production assistant. I've never been a part of a fashion show or a photo shoot or anything like that. So I came in mostly blind. I knew that there was a PDF of we needed at least a couple of models, we needed a photographer, we needed some supplies, we needed a location, we needed prep, we needed this, we had a time schedule. And it was like event planning. I was like, okay, I've done event planning in my career. I can get with this. But on site, the day that it happened, it was more about being fluid with what the scenario needed. In the case of my volunteering as a production assistant, I didn't know what that meant, but I was determined to be the best one of those that I could be. So it was really about where do I see a need and what can I do to be of assistance? If that means bringing additional accessories for the models or helping them carry their shoes because there was lots of shoes, or rolling the fashion rack that you see behind Adela and we'll get to experience later, but rolling the fashion rack around the property or lifting the light pole with the flashy thing and just moving that slightly every time Adela wanted it moved somewhere. And then like running real quick and getting somebody a water bottle or asking somebody for help because we needed to swap out models on a secure set, which literally there was security that we had to navigate. And again, shout out to Ascent Aviation for being super awesome. Their employees were incredibly kind to us and allowed us all of the chaos of frequent movement, and we appreciate them very much. But it is a lot of work, and everyone contributes, and many hands make light work. So I do know that volunteerism has a wonderful impact and makes amazing things happen. I'll popcorn to you, Alicia. How was your experience?
Yeah, so I've been in the marketing world for a while, so I've been on sets before. But I have to say this was like definitely one of the more professional ones, especially considering that it wasn't a technical set, right? Because normally the sets that I've gone to have been in like a studio that's all set up, and Adela made an actual runway a studio, which is insane. So I think that was exciting. It was exciting to see like the actual vision be put into action. But I think one of the most exciting things for me was, when I've been on sets before, I had like one task. Okay, you sit here and you're like, okay, making sure that they're on script, whatever. Nope, that was not the case. I got to do everything that was needed. I got to help, whether it be throw up a skirt to make sure it looked like it was blowing in the wind when the wind stopped blowing for a moment. Making sure that, the production assistants had their correct light, and just I just really felt part of the whole set, and that was really exciting to me as an artist, being able to see the back end and also being able to see the future. I think that's the most exciting part for me is that this whole preset was kind of for me as a marketer, the opportunity for us to do the precursor to what we're doing in September. And it was like creating the ads for our future artwork, which is just like awesome for me. So, thank you for letting me join, and I'm excited for what is to come for sure.
Oh, yay. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Yolanda,
Yeah,
old timer, what was your thing? I
thanks.
mean, let's be call it what it is, old
Did it.
timer.
So for me, it was a little bit different because I've been on sets where I pretty much did, yeah, I did with Jennifer was doing. You know, I'm running around, I'm trying to get other people to do what they're supposed to be doing, sometimes being a hard behind, sometimes having to give out hugs, whatever, because everybody's in a different space, right? This time it was different because I came in and like they were there, and they had jobs. They jumped right in. They decided to take it. I kind of was bored. I got to just concentrate on dealing with the models, making sure their hair and their makeup were good, like making sure they got their clothes on, kind of just looking at time. I did not have to do the things I normally do and have my hand in all these different things to where I'm potentially being overwhelmed or where Adele potentially being overwhelmed. Jen said she has no idea what she was doing, but let me tell you, this heifer went off and she just took
Listen,
charge. And
listen,
she,
I said
listen, we
mini
didn't have
me
to tell
the
her. It was so
nothing.
fun. They were on the runway, right? All the planes and everything. I was on the other side of the gate because I am a stickler for the rules. If nothing else, I am a
Jeez.
stickler for the rules. And one of the rules were we weren't all supposed to be in there,
We got
okay?
kicked out of the airport.
And so if there are so many people in there, you're not supposed to go in. So I did not push to go in because when I was watching, if Adela ran by, Jen was right with her. Like if I saw Adela's hand go, I look and she's there, somebody's there. Her son was on set with us, so he was doing some stuff. You know, Will has like his lighting equipment or audio
We
equipment or
had
whatever.
Sam, which by the way, we have to
Yeah.
give it really quick. We have to
Hmm.
give a huge shout out to Sam Brooks and Drew Sloth for always, 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 always coming through. Those two humans have my back. Like literally, I love you
Hmm.
guys too, but like they have my back when it comes to this level
Hmm.
of experience in that way. And they just show up, and they are gaffers. And if you don't know what a gaffer is, it's lighting and electrical equipment and making sure that how we look good to you, we look good to you, and the power gets to you. Like there's a lot of work in that, and they show up for me to make sure that I look good, that we look good, that we have what we need every single time. And if it wasn't for these two humans and their dedication and passion in their whole life, and they're in their, you know, in their ages, love you guys, but you are, but they're in their ages, and their commitment again to the passion and to art, and then commitment to me as a human being is just beyond grateful and beyond blessed and beyond my even words of expression. So I just really had to say that out loud because they have
Yeah.
been with me at every project, at every given moment. I don't even have to say anything. I just say, hey guys, I don't have to finish the sentence. Honestly, they go, Adela, whatever it is, we got your back. Not every single time. They've never questioned me. And again, I want the questions, I want the pushback, I want all that stuff, but they've never questioned the vision or the mission of what we're doing or the authenticity of it. And they've just shown up to support the creating aspect of it for the humans. Like, because it isn't about me. It isn't about Project Human. It's about the idea that we come together and we create this unit and we create a community. And through that creation, we experience something that is tangible, right? That imprints on you. And that's what art does. That's what these projects do, right? And the reason why I wanted to say that too, and again, not to cut you off, Yolanda, but we'll go back to it because it goes and impacts our youth and our teens. And we had that happen on our set too that moment. We had somebody, I'm a mentor for another organization, and I have a teen that I mentee or I have a mentee, and you know we'll be meeting actually on Sunday to do our thing, and she was part of it, and she's in our BTS videos. My son did all the BTS photos. He was our BTS photographer. He's 14 years old. She's 14 years old, showing up to be a model. Never modeled in front, never been on a professional set, gave her the opportunity. Her and her family came out. We gave them the opportunity. So for me, when we do these projects, when we do these events, when we do these things, as we would call it, the entertainment way, when we do them for you or we come to you, it's not just about the entertainment. It's not just about the pretty piece or the end result. Really, it's about giving the opportunity, again, to a teenager to come through and experience something that they've never had to. It's about the opportunity of giving my son the ability to come in and learn on a set that he never would have to or have the ability to learn from other people. It's about the ability to give humans who don't do that for a living normally and who are in the marketing or who are just on the other end of something to come in and be like, shoot, I don't even know if I can do this, but let me, like Jen said, let me be the best, whatever this is, and let me win it. And then you show up and you win. And to me, that was like, That's the experience. And that was like, right. And mind you guys, again, that was 2 weeks before my accident that we had to jump in and do all this, or 2 weeks after my accident. Will came in from from LA to do this for us too, you guys. So when I say we really have committed people to come in and show us, this is when I say the community here we have in Jacksonville is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. I give it all the kudos. But the one thing I will call you out is that you're not accountable for the commitments that you make and you stand for. You're not accountable for them because you don't stand up on the words that you say when you commit to the commitments. And I'm not saying to me, I'm saying from what I've seen in the way we can make the change as a collective, as a unity. We don't stand on that commitment of we're really here to help the humanity, right? We're always out for ourselves. So I'm calling it out the way it is, you guys, whatever you want to be. But I said what I said in that. It's just a part of my thing because when we talk about unity, when we talk about community, it goes back to the self. Are you committed enough to show up for yourself? So when you say, I am going to be here, I'm going to volunteer, or I'm going to come to your house, Jen, and I'm going to help you out today, or I'm going to call you tomorrow, Yolanda, because you need me to, or Alicia, I'm going to ensure that you have this because you asked for this. As a community, whether you're an artist, whether you're a professional, whether you're a mother, whether you're a father, whatever your label is, as a community in that sense, we're not showing up. We're not. So one of the reasons why I say that is because when people showed up for me on this event, you didn't show up for me, or when we did this, you showed up for my mentee. You showed up for my son. You showed up for a future generation that can see adults being part of a unity, being part of a community, changing, spearing things in a way that they don't normally see as a unit, not as a diverse or segregated space and place that we exist in. And it's really important for us to understand that, because again, when we go into resilience, when we go our fashion fundraising, when we go to our quarterly mental health days, specifically as we're moving forward, like Alicia said, to the future of our mental health summit, it's so important to bring these conversations to light, because the accountability and responsibility is going to fall on us to stand up for and advocate for the things that we need, for the things that the community needs. And what best way to do that than through art, right? And what's best way than to do that and put yourself in positions that you don't know that are afraid of? And what best way than to challenge the status quo in your life that you may not agree with, or you may not want, or you may not love? And then what best way than to say yes, like Ascent Aviation did and helped us out. Again, I just have to give them a huge shout out for that, because they kept doing it. They just said, here you go, Adela. Here you go, Adela. And they didn't have to give me anything. So that's what we're going into. So what I want you guys to take a second to, we're going to share the link right now on our pages to our events page. So go check it out. Go get your ticket right now to our event. Go get a VIP ticket. Go get a humanitarian ticket if you want to be part of the humanitarian. How do you say the word, you guys? Humanitarian. So I was saying it right. It just didn't sound right. Did I say it right? No, I didn't say it right. It doesn't matter. Humanitarian. It just doesn't sound right to me. If you want to be a humanitarian like we are, you can go ahead and get your tickets too. You'll get a VIP super special treatment in that one, I promise. But if not, come support us in any way. And if you can't show up to the event or you can't be a part of it, we're asking you to come and volunteer. We're asking you to share. We're asking you to just be vocal and advocate for yourself and mental health. And when you do that, you help advocate for us. You help share our story. You help share our voices. So let's keep doing that. And I think we lost audio again, did we? Because somebody just looked at me and said we did. I think we did on some parts. But anyway, we're moving into the second part and we'll go right into this. So bear with me when we move into our third part of sharing our merch store and everything else like that. Because again, technical difficulties, that's what we're here for. Bear with me. And we're taking a break for just a second. All right, we're back. Here we go. I'm muting. We're having some technical difficulties because I don't know how to press the mute and unmute buttons. So if you want to help me be the mute and unmute button person, presser, pooper, pusher, not a pooper, pusher, I will greatly appreciate it, because obviously I can't speak nor push buttons today, and that's okay. But here's what we've all been waiting for. Well, the second thing we've all been waiting for a while. We've worked really, really hard on the Certified Nuisance collection. And I really want to share that with you for a second and share what it means to me, what it means to you guys, and what you guys should be able to take away from it. Part of the Certified Nuisance, okay, so let me give you the idea of backstory of what it means to be Certified Nuisance. In this space and place, I have been working for so long and coming up and showing up to places, showing up to events, showing up to places, putting myself into rooms that I have no business being in, okay, because I'm not certified, nor do I have a professional degree to be in it. However, when I'm in that room or when I'm in that space, when I'm in that place, when I can have a conversation with you and hold it longer and be in a deeper sense of understanding than you are even in your own profession, then I start to challenge you. I start to challenge just a little bit. So then I become a nuisance. Then everybody tells me, Adela, you don't have the credentials. Adela, you're too much. Adela, it's ambitious. Do you really think you can do that? Good luck, Adela. I just think that's a little bit above your pay grade, Adela. You know what? Let me tell you something. You're right. I don't have it. I don't know it. I'm too much. I'm too all that stuff. You're right. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to let you know that I'm going to get certified. So I did. I went and got certified in ACT training. I am an adoption certified trauma specialist training. I got my training certificate for that. I'm not saying it right now, but I am in that. Y'all know that's an important thing because it's certified by the Department of Florida and Children's Department. Florida, yeah, that one. And what that means is that we have the actual certification, the actual ability to have the trauma-informed conversations, not just with children and, adoptee in the adoption industry. And I call it the industry because that's what it is. And if you actually take some classes on it, it's all it is a money-hogging place and not a place for children or a place for human beings. But what do I know about that? We'll get into that on another level. But that's part of becoming a certified nuisance. It's educating yourself, informing yourself, and understanding who you are, what you're doing, why you're doing it, when you're doing it, how you're doing it, and in any way is becoming certified in your life. Being responsible, being accountable, being accepting and claiming of the accountability and responsibility of the consequences that come through all that. Good or bad, it is your job. It is your responsibility to do that. So I did. I went through it. So when every time somebody said, Adela, you can't do this, it's too much, I went and learned it. Adela, you don't have the skill. I went and learned it. Adela, you can't do this. I went and did it. And every time now that I do it, they're like, gosh, here she comes again. Here she comes again. Oh my God, here's Adela again with her mouth. Oh my God, what new idea that she had? Oh my God, Adela, shut up. And you know what though? I can't shut up. Do you know why I can't shut up? Because to be a nuisance is not a bad thing. Yes, there's a bad definition to it. Yes, there's a bad consequences, but to be a nuisance is not a bad thing. My intention is not to harm you. My intention is not to share negative information. Our intention as a certified nuisance is for us to not to advocate in any shape or form for negativity or violence or bad speech or any stigma, negativity, any of that, right? We are, as a certified nuisance, going to flip it on you and advocate and be annoying and show up and be loud and be a little crazy in different ways because we believe in humanity and we believe that a human being deserves to exist in their space and time. We believe that you have the right to stand up for yourself and to advocate for your life because you live your life. I don't live your life. I'm not you. I don't have 24/7 with you, but I do know you do. So a doctor doesn't either. A mechanic doesn't. I don't, and I'm not even a professional. Again, I don't have it. Your mother doesn't. She don't live with you. No offense. It's just nobody does. You do. So when they try to gaslight you, when they tell you you're wrong, when they try to confuse your own narrative because you don't understand or you're weak in your moment or things are just not the right way and you can't process, that is the part where you take that certified nuisance and go, not today. I'm certified in my life. I'm certified in my existence. I'm certified in my words. I'm certified in my statements. So what I need you to do is certify that you understand that you're taking me seriously. Not because I don't have PhDs or because I do or because I have this background that's going to give me the ability to talk of an expertise, but because I am a human being who is living her life in her way. And when she's telling you something, you should have enough, I don't know, common sense to ask questions and to pause and not be like, no, I don't think that's wrong. I think it's in your head, Adela. I think it's all in your head. You're damn right it's all in my head, and I fixed my head. Now what? Again, now what? Whenever somebody comes to you and says, you're not capable, it's too much, how is this? This is what certified nuisance means for. You get the education, you get informed, and then you advocate like hell for what you believe in. You stand up for who you are. You do it with love, you do it with kindness, you do it with compassion. You also do it with authority. You do it a little bit discipline, you do it a little bit of commitment, but you don't do it in a belligerent and mean and negative way. So I'm saying that again over and over again. So when I say certified nuisance, you guys don't think you can go out there and do some nuisance stuff and then call and say Adela said so. You can't. Good nuisance stuff. Good nuisance stuff.
Adela was told by a elected official that she was a nuisance, and I think that that's a good thing. And so in my mind, what this stands for is that we're being a nuisance to the system, which we all know needs to change. We all know needs some upgrades in support of mental health. And I think that's the way that I view it, is that we're here to be a nuisance, to advocate for change. So that's
Absolutely. Yeah,
but
absolutely.
you can tell us what it means to you, but I think that at the end of the day, everyone is allowed to be a nuisance for themselves and
That's
for
the
who they want
point.
to advocate for.
That's the
So,
point. So if anybody tells you you can't be, now you get to take a piece of merch. So let's take a look at this merch so you can see this merch and you can see what it's like. So let's take a look at this merch, you guys. I have to step back for a little bit. I have to lift my mic up a bit, and this is going to be a little bit tricky because I'm doing live shopping, live influencing, live modeling, live all the stuff, the things that I don't like lively doing. All right, so you guys do me a favor. We're dropping the link in our Zoom channel. We're dropping the link in the YouTube channel. So go do me the favor and put in an order because we would love for you to do it. We can't wait. All right. So here's a couple of things that I have that are already on site right now, and then there's so many multiple new pieces that we've made now and added to the addition of it. So the number one thing that we have is a certified nuisance. We have our Project Human hoodie. I'm gonna turn this around, so let me know if you can hear me because I have to yell, you guys. I have to yell. You have to yell. So Project Human, because we have a mic. There we go. Great. Okay, awesome. Thank you, team. So here we go. We have our Project Human shirt right here. It's our hoodie. This is a 100% recycled hoodie. So this is different than some of the cotton material that we have or some of the cotton and or 50-50 pieces in there that we have. So please, when you're looking at your merch, check what you want. We're giving you options because one, it's for all the affordabilities, comfort, all the luxuries that you might want. So we kind of gave everybody a little bit, a taste of a little bit of everything. I love this hoodie because number one, it is recycled. It feels really nice. Like I like it because it's just, it hugs me in there. We have on this side right here, on our right side, we have our nuisance piece right here. It says nuisance, you're a nuisance. And right underneath it, when somebody says, oh my God, where'd you get your nuisance? You go, bam, scan me, I got you. I'm branded by Adela. No, I'm just kidding. You're not. But here we go. You get your own little branded right there. And on the left side over here, we have now this logo here, it just says Project Human. On the new shirts, we have our Advocate, Inform, and Educate. Because when I made these before I did when I was testing this out, you learn through your testing that some things. So if you see this and you're like, it's not the same, that's the only reason. It's because the official logo is on the real ones. So you guys have the official ones. So that's on there. The back, the front, it says our Project Human. Not that you guys need all my, but here you go. And then the best part is the certified part. You guys ready? Bam, let me know if you guys can see this. Wow. Perfect. The QR code. I did. Bam. Right, wait, no, this way. Bam. It's like the Spider-Man. Oh, it's like the Spider-Man moment. It's like, bam, bam, bam. Make sure that we remember to clip this for our viral video tips, okay? Because this is the one. Bam, bam, nuisance. bam. Anyway, the exciting part. So that's one. We also have this style with Project Human, slightly smaller on the left side right here in white. That is our hoodie. This has been the one that you guys have seen me wear around and had the comments and everybody's telling me they love it. This is also 100% recyclable. So just know that the material is not going to be the same as a cotton material or as a mix of cotton and polyester. Recyclable is going to be on the lower end of the quality, if you will, but not on the bad end of the quality. I just want to let you guys know so you know where they're at on recycled and how they make them versus cotton plus versus whatever it is all in there. So please read your little instructions underneath all that. But look, see this? This is for a full fit. See the bottom? See the bottom? See the bottom? What do they call them? The cans right now? I'm canning over here. I've never done this live. On the back, you have our certified again, right in here. You have the white sleeve for the nuisance. White sleeve for the nuisance is right there. And then, of course, our Project Human is right here. Again, comfy, really, really comfy, really loose and light. They both have their hand pockets right here. So you can get one of these, you can get one of these, and then you can make a whole fit. I'm getting semi-naked for you guys. You can get a whole fit with these right here. Nope. They're a traditional they're a traditional cotton light pant, not a sweat pant. So they don't have the fleece fuzzing in there. They're just a lightweight cotton type of pant in there. And they are also, I just lost my train of thought. Sorry. That's what happens. Anyway. Yes, it has recycled materials. I just don't remember what the level of recycled materials, but it does have it in there. It's not 100% or any of it. But we have two versions. We have an all white. Well, that's not white. We have an all white pant. It goes both white. You laughing, Alicia? I see you, but I'm trying. I'm trying really hard. My boss said I had to be an influencer and I had to market and I had to do this, so I'm doing it. So my boss is judging me, okay? I'm just saying. Anyway, so you have an all white nuisance pant, so you can do this. I wear them everywhere. They're really light. I love, especially when I'm going out, I love sleeping in them as a sleeping piece because they're light if I do sleep in them, and then I love going out because it's hot as balls outside, but I don't like wearing. I did wear them all around Central Park, and I wore them all around the places, all around New York. Again, I wore my outfits in New York, you guys. I tested all the product out. It is, for the most, 99.99% great, okay? Because I have nitpicking ideas, and I can't be 100% honest. So 99.99% great, so we're going to go with that statistic. So two versions you can get. You can get the white and the black, or the black and white little leggings right here, and you can mismatch it. And like I said, you can do the whole wha-bam, wha-bam, I'm a nuisance, Don't pay, I see you, Yolanda. Y'all don't think I can't see these little I can see all of your little micro expressions because I'm good at my job, okay? I am. All right, now, here's the white pants. I don't know why I said white, but
You can have a whole set, or you can do the mix and match. Yep. So get them now. Get them now.
Get them now. Here's
Before
your
we run out.
Here's your mixed matches, okay?
Yep.
And then also, you guys will have our team on there too. We also have, before I strip all the way down into the next thing, so you saw the pants, you saw the top. Then we also have bomber jackets. I love our bomber jackets. I love our bomber jackets. I'm going to say it twice, 13 times. I love our bomber jackets. I'm getting the white one. I love our bomber jackets. This is, not only is it light and fit and cool and whatever, but the material is great. It looks nice. The back, you have your certified on it. Look at how good that looks, you guys. That just looks so great.
It looks shiny and silky. Is that
shiny.
what it feels like?
It does feel shiny and silky. It is also made
like the movie Grease.
More of a it's recycled, but more more recycled, less than the other, but it's a good quality of there, and I really like it. It's nice and stretch. I have washed these multiple times. I have worn and torn some because Adela approved, but that is Adela abuse. So if Adela has abused them, that means for the normal person, it'll all be great. So Adela abused approved. Anyway, so we have our bomber jackets. Go pick one up. Pick a white one up or the black one, the one I have right now. I'm getting the white one. but the black one. And they're light. Like I wear them with my jeans. I'll wear them out when I go on a walk.
Yeah, in
with
Florida.
A tank
They're
top,
Florida approved.
especially
Yep.
Florida approved. Like that's so Florida approved, okay? The other part of our certified nuisance, we have our t-shirts.
Yep.
2 versions, you guys, because somebody said they needed a v-neck. So we got 2 versions. I have the crew neck, the high neck, because I like high neck stuff. Other people don't like them. I have 2 of them that don't like them that way. They're right on there letting me know, and they know and they're smiling. So there we go. But we also have the v-neck versions. So we have v-neck version and the top version you can get. We have multiple colors actually in these. So it's not just black, and it's not just like a black and white or gray. We actually have some like teal or a blue or a light, like I don't remember all the colors. I know we have plenty of variants that you can choose from. You can put it together and look how cool that looks. Black on
There's
black and white.
a
It looks so
green, a
good.
heather.
Yes,
a
we have some
heather,
green out,
gray.
green pieces.
Yep.
I have some like forest
know.
green,
I like the
military
green.
Oh, I do too, and I can't wait for those. Like those are really going to be cool. Then, pardon my French, we have a couple of shirts on there. I don't have all the shirts. I didn't order all the shirts, but we have a couple of shirts on there. This is one
This
of my
one's
favorites.
awesome.
That's
This
so
is
cool.
so scientific. I
This
think
is-
like all of our science nerds are gonna love it.
I loved it.
Oh,
I want you to know I
so-
actually put thought into this.
Yes.
This wasn't like, let me just come. I actually put thought into this whole line. We worked on this together as a team. We spent hours together going through and testing everything and asking questions and doing that. So this isn't just an Adela off the whim idea and go, let's do it tomorrow. We actually put an effort and time into this. So let us know. But I want to tell you what the shirt says, and I can't read it backwards, so I have to read it downwards and listen. On the front, it says 100% unique, PHInc advocate. Contents may vary in color, shape, and belief. That's the cool one. And then, of course, it's got your I am human. And then the ingredients for your humanity are 100% passion, awesomeness, intelligence, humor, and a hint of mischief. If you guys know how much I love mischief. A little bit of chaos and just a dash of bad decisions. No artificial intelligence added. Not at all. However, I solemnly swear I'm up to no good. It's absolutely true, because I am. And then on our little, and I'll pull it back up again, but on our little key cards on the bottom, it says resilient, emotional, intelligent, compassion, and grace, because that's all the things we represent as an organization, but those are the things we want to represent as a human species too. And it says limited edition right there. And then when you scan this QR code right here, it takes you to our shop. So everything works, just so you know. So you can wear us, you can share us, you can love us, and you can represent human. And on the back of our shirts, not on this one, but on the back, it'll say Project Human. For those of you who are ordering your new ones, we'll have our Project Human info in there too. So that's our I Am Human shirt. And then speaking of shirts, hey guys, close your eyes. Close your eyes. You're not allowed to see this, okay? Adela's about to do it.
This is part of the show. Yes.
This is the intro. Hey, make that donation. Make that donation. Put that purchase in. Put that purchase. Listen, if this is the kind
2 more shirts and she'll take the rest off. No, okay.
Listen. If this is how you want me to do, I'm good at this. Okay, boss, I'm good at this. Let me know how we do this all the time. I'm good at this. Every other thing I'm not. But this. Ready, guys? It's coming up. You better make that donation. I'm just kidding. Maybe it's not. Hold on a second.
I was gonna say, be careful of the headphones.
Yes,
Yeah.
mind the headphones. Let's not lose that connection.
I'm a beast, you guys. I'm a pro. Come on. So this is the hoodie taken off so you guys can see it. Like I said, I love it. It's and as you can
beautiful.
see the shape
Adela,
of it,
I
it's
wanna-
definitely a jump.
I want to
Yes.
read a comment from one of our folks online, Jessica. She says, incredibly intentional merch. So,
Thank
Epic,
you.
she gave you
It
the
really
clap,
is.
the
Thank
okay
you.
sign.
Thank you. So speaking of shirts, and before I take off my pants for
you,
you
Jess.
guys, thank you, Jess. I appreciate you. Listen, since we're here for the show, let me give you a show, okay? My 15 minutes of fame, I'm using them. So we just did the I Am Human shirt.
No, Adela, we're extending your fame. Remember, we're working
Yes.
on this.
We're
Yes,
working on the
yes.
extension, okay? Now remember deodorant, okay? Next time, because I just looked at my arms. I'm glad nobody's in the studio with me, okay? Anyway, here's another one that I love so much. This is one of my favorite ones. Like, besides the human one, it's one of my second favorite ones. There's all of them. They're all my favorite because they're intentionally. But this one says, don't stop the effort. You are worth it. You are worth it. How many times does Project Human say, you are worth the effort? How many times do I speak it and constantly say, you're worth the effort. You're worth the fight. You're worth the effort. Don't stop it. No matter how hard it is for you, no matter how difficult, no matter what the circumstances are saying, like that's what that means. It means Don't stop the effort. Don't give up on you. You're worth the effort. And we have it in multiple colors, because of course we do.
And tanks.
And some tanks. Well, we have some tank tops. We will have these in tank tops coming up. They're not out in tanks yet, but we have a couple of different versions of tanks for men and women. One is trust the process, or trust your crazy process, and the other one is your decision will change your reality, or something like that in there. But it's a really cool decision one. I can't remember all of them. But we have those in tank tops. We will be adding these in tank tops. We will be adding the human ones in tank tops as soon as I figured out some proportions for us ladies, okay? Because some tanks are not as friendly to us ladies with proportions. I'm just saying. Okay, so those are some of the shirts we have. Keep checking them out. Another one we're going to drop this week is going to be our Artist Within shirt. We have this one that's going to say Artist Within, define your narrative in here, and then we'll have our Project Human logo with our information as well, and an advocate. So look out for those. Again, we have a lot of merch. That not everything is dropped right away because, well, we're doing a lot, but we have a lot coming up your way too. So always check out the store. Keep it going. We want you to do that. Let me see. Before I get into the Define the Narrative stuff, shirts, merch, let me show you my booty.
I was going to say, we need to take off another layer.
Okay, ma'am. I mean,
How are we doing on the purchases? Are we up? Are we up to another level?
I don't know, but I mean, we're sitting here. I didn't know I was part of this show. I didn't know I agreed to this, but okay, let me show you. I'm just kidding. So,
Adela, you're gonna model the athletic pants
Yes.
in white. They are also available in black, and they've gotten the full athletic movement test from Adela, the bend and snap test from Adela, the weightlifting and squat test, the walk around New York test. They are approved by people who use them for athletic purposes.
Yes.
I know, I'm so sorry. I just get so excited at my high-pitched Ross voice. I'm fine. But like, I'm not fine because I'm so excited. Look at these. It just makes me want to go, yay, yay, yay. You guys, this is why they need to pay me for my own show, so they can just do this all the time and not have to press buttons, okay? This is where more fun. But anyways, these are our leggings. I'm so sorry you look at my feet too. Yolanda, our foot conversation below the ankle. Where are we at? Anyway, Nuisance is right here. Certified is right up here. It also has pockets. They're pretty deep pockets though, guys. Look, like, you can go in there. Pocket. We got pockets. We got pockets. On the new leggings, you guys, just so you know, on the back, I'm showing you my booty. Close your eyes, you guys. I have to show my booty. But on the back above the booty, you'll have Project Human on there for you. So we're stamping you.
So Adela, these shirts are unisex, I think.
Yes.
These white shirts, like what you're wearing. What
Yes.
size are you wearing
I'm
for
wearing a
folks who
medium.
are interested?
So I'm wearing a medium. I bought medium shirts because I wanted to test out the medium and stuff. I would prefer small because the small fits more to my size than the medium. The medium's a little bit on my bigger side for the unisex ones. But again, if you like the comfort, get the size that you want to get up a little bit or whatever that you think. But if you want a more tighter fit, get your size to fit. These clothes do come to a like fit your size type of deal. They fit to you for the most part. So to your size. So if you're like, hey, I want a little more loose, like these leggings are small and they fit me great. I move like all the way, like you said, squat yoga. But I will in my next one order a medium to see how much looseness I have in this area here or what the give is, right? Because again, some medium might be a little bit more this or that, but I like this. Ladies, I like the cinch, okay? Let's go ahead and be real. Mamas, I like my cinch. I like my cinch
That's
right
tummy
up here.
control in action.
Right there. Right there. Tummy control in action. All right? Right there. So this is one fit, and you guys can look, mix and match it. You see that? You don't have to. We color coordinated so that you can mix and match the pieces. So it's not just Certified the Nuisance, or it's not just our PHInc merch. Not our FERC merch. Our PHInc merch. Woo! It's not just our PHInc merch, it's all of our merch. Again, the intention is it works for every human, it works for every space, it works for every place. It works for you because we're inspiring you to have your human existence and for you. So again, boom, boom, boom. Speaking of all of that too, you can get yourself a mug. We have some mugs for coffee mugs. On the mugs, on the new one, like I said, the logo will be Advocate, Inform, and Educate because That's what we're doing, not just this. But this is our artist within. This is our triple one. So if you want to just get one and support all three, boom, you let us know. It shows you guys, this is what makes me so proud. That in 8 years, we are showing you the work that we've done, the steps that we've taken, and this is the outcome. Like this
And
right
check
here.
out the inside of the cup
Oh,
too.
and the
I
inside
love
is
that it
red
has our
because-
brand color.
Because why not?
I love that.
Again,
Yep.
and then I can't flip it upside down because I do actually have a drink in this. But here's a certified Here's a certified nuisance right here. And on here, on the new one, you'll have our PHInc information right here. It's going to be right under there, really nicely, like right here, nicely and delicately put so it can be seen, but the same thing. So really pretty. I love it. I use it right now. I have my energy drink in here going. Certified nuisance to finish this up. There you go, Jen. I drank my drink. Speaking of, listen, you guys, I have my humans who love me and who take care of me. When I can't self-care and advocate for myself, guess what they do? They self-care and advocate for me. And they're touching me, making sure I go potty, making sure I drink. Speaking of drink, here's another thing.
Community.
Look at this. This is the 40 ounce. We have two of them on there. We have the 20 ounce and the 40 ounce. Or 32 ounce. I'm not sure, but one of the 2 ounces are in there. And we also have a bottle with the straw, like the pop-up straw one on there. I don't have that one yet, but we have that as well. Add metal. Can you hear that? Clinking. Really great, like, top control.
Adela, you may have just hit a sound bite. Does anyone else hear that? It's a live repeat.
Are you hearing that on YouTube or are you hearing that here in the Zoom?
I was hearing that here in Zoom. I'm hearing the beginning of this conversation. So somebody playing the recording. Is anyone streaming? I'm gonna
I
try
am, but mine's on mute.
Yeah, I was on mute too.
Mine as well. I'm watching it on a separate screen, but
Yeah, I don't hear it. Is there anyone else in your home who could possibly be doing it?
No, as long as the YouTube's not hearing it, we're good. Now, everybody else, we're good. Okay, sorry, Jen. You're going to have to hear and listen to it for a second.
Back to the
perfect.
stripping. I'm just kidding.
Back to the stripping. I haven't even made it.
let's get back to what's important here.
Let's
the
get
fashion.
back to the important thing.
Thank you, Seth. Back to what's important. Fashion.
I take over as a moderator right now. This is a
Thank you.
fashion
Do your
discussion.
job. Do your moderating job. You are right. Do your job. I love it. You see when I get bossy, you guys? This is me, bossy and mean. Okay, last but not least, bossy and mean. You've seen this. Again, here's our black ones. I would switch to put the black ones on, but I don't want to right now, but they fit the same way, okay? And they really look cool. And again, that's Certified Nuisances on the bottom and on here. Ooh, what I wanted to show you guys, I didn't know I did this, but it made me so happy I did it.
Hey Adela, I do want to make you aware of a time check. It's 20 after 2, and
Perfect.
we want to make sure that we get to define the narrative.
All right,
preview.
we're about to get
So,
off of this and do that. I love you. Thank you so much. Inside
You got
your
it.
pocket, you'll find certified. I didn't realize I did that until I did it, and I was like, did I really do that? Anyway, it's really cool. You'll be marked and tagged inside, so just because it doesn't say it on the outside, you're tagged and marked on the inside. You're certified. So whenever somebody says, you don't know what you're talking about, you know what you can do? You can be like, bam, certified. Bam, certified. I've wanted to do that since I came up with it. What are you talking about? Just bam, right. Bam, certified. And then you pop that leg. Bam. I'm just saying. So anyway, those are the things. Last but not least, because we have to get into the thing we were talking about the whole time anyway, which is our Define the Narrative documentary, and I moved it somewhere right in here. Okay, guys. So Yolanda's actually wearing one of the shirts, and I'm going to pull it out right here too. So we have two shirts for our Define the Narrative documentary, and we have them in a couple of different colors, couple of different versions, couple of different varieties. What we have are the team ones we got from when we did our filming. So these were all individualized, all with their own name in the back. So these ones are all individualized to the humans here, right? This is our first one. This is the official Define the Narrative documentary logo and what we're going to be using in our film festivals, using for the community project, this one right here. So go get yourself a shirt like this right here. On the back of our new one, it says Advocate for Humanity. So your title here is an advocate for humanity. On both of these, that's what it says. And it's really cool because I love that. So if you're defining your narrative. In this one, it's defining my narrative. The idea isn't about just defining the narrative of the society. You define narrative, define your narrative. And as we move into the Define the Narrative documentary and what we're about to watch in just a couple of minutes, you guys, it's really exciting for us to talk about that and to understand what Define My Narrative means. So go pick one up this way, go pick one up that way and that way, because we also we're launching our donation campaign for the documentary today too. And for every $100 donation that you put in there, you will get your own custom shirt with your own name that says you are a crew member of our documentary, and you'll get your name printed right here and shipped right off to you with a personalized crew member shirt like we did and like we have. So, without further ado, go shop, my dear friends. Go shop. Look, right there, it says shopping time. Right there, shopping time. Go shop. Go shop.
Or if you have any questions about sizing or anything like that, hit us up. We are very excited about this merch drop, and we hope that you guys are too.
And let me come back
Just in
now.
case, I've had this for I don't even know how many months now. I've probably washed it over 30 times. Now, granted, she talked about the crew neck. I cut mine and I fold them in because
She likes
I
the
just
crew
don't
neck
like.
again.
Yeah. But I mean, you could do that, and it's a unisex, so
Yep.
I think they're good.
So they've worked hard. We've tested these out over the last couple of years. Again, not everything is perfect we nitpick everything, you guys, because we nitpick everything. Not everything is nitpicking anything. However, 99.9% of everything is great. So we really want to appreciate and share thanks with you guys for that. So to wrap this segment up, go get your tickets on sale for our fashion runway, for our Runway to Resilience fashion show, because all that will help us create this event for you. Donate to the organization itself, because your donations there help us reach our next programs, create workshops, and actually bring these workshops to the community, which we do have a plan for in October coming up. We have a massive care model workshop that we're getting ready to launch, and we want to push it in there. So again, your donations will help us. And last but not least, again, we're going to be pushing this out to you. Go buy yourself a piece of merch. When you do buy it, send us what you think about it. Be honest, okay? We will not be offended by your honesty, and we will understand, and we will do our best to make the changes to accommodate the things and updates and make things better. We want to make things better. So please give us your feedback. Please let us know your honest opinion. And if there are any issues, okay, underneath our website or in each piece of that, there should be a manufacturer number and manufacturer access. If you don't have it, let me know, because we've made that available for you guys. So you guys can also contact the manufacturer and let them know if something's not wrong or something's not right. Because no matter how much we do on our end, this goes back to collective advocacy. This goes back to collective accountability, collective responsibility, that if you let us know and we put in the cases, or if we do something, you also need to hold everybody accountable for the things that we're not all happy about or we're great about, and we want to send them great messages. Let's do that too. But you should have access to your ability to solve and resolve the problems. If you can't, again, either, please reach out to us. We are here not 24/7. We're here, and as often as we can possibly. I was almost at 24/7. I'm here 24/7. We're not here 24/7. I'm here 24/7, but we're not in that either. Seth's face was like, not today, Satan. Not today. That's not what I agreed on this volunteer contract, Adela. That is not what I agreed. I moderated, not this 24/7 BS. So anyway, team, really quick, what do you guys think about our merch so far?
I'm
I'm
excited.
so excited. I have several items on the way, and I can't wait for them to come. So stoked. If anybody has any questions, please feel free. My mom's already commented that she wants long sleeves, so we're working on that. But yes, any updates, any suggestions, please let us know, and we will work on it.
Absolutely.
I think everything looks great. You guys did a great job.
Thank you, sir. Look at moderator coming in and communicating with me. I love it. We just naturally, do you see how naturally it happens? We naturally and organically get him to talk to me and make faces at me. Naturally. I just have to say that he works 24/7 for me, and then he'll instantly start talking.
Now he's like speaking up. Now he's like, wait, obviously I need to talk.
But welcome to the team, you guys. This is what we do. This is how much a conversation we have. Okay, so what we're going to do in just 3 minutes, okay, we are going to be showing you the teaser trailer. In the meantime, for those of you who are watching on YouTube right now or are on YouTube on our channel, our teaser should have already premiered, because it's two different teasers that we're going to be showing you here, obviously through the live streaming that you're going to see, but then the actual teaser is already right now. So we're going to drop this link for you in our Zoom chat and in the YouTube chat, so you can go while we're watching this here through the stream portion, while everybody's in there, go take a second, go watch it on your own, mute yourselves here on our Zoom, but go watch it and share. Here's what I'm going to ask you to do right now, okay? You're going to watch it, and then what you're going to do is share it with one person that you know, just one person. Okay, I need you to share with your mom, with your brother, with your sister, with your husband, with your daughter, with your son. The reason why I'm saying this, I shared this with my husband and my son. My husband is obviously, I look at it this way. My husband is my greatest asset and my greatest ally, but he's also my greatest critic. And if I can win my husband over and I win my son over, I've won. Like, what else? And with this teaser, I did, and we did. And we hope that this teaser, this conversation does bring some light to you. It does bring some joy to you. And it also shows you that you're worth the effort. Don't stop. Don't give up. Make a decision, and you're worth the effort to do that. So without further ado, while we're waiting, let's prepare. Let's take a second. And at 2:30, we're going to go ahead and do this trailer or teaser release for you. And we're going to then discuss a little bit about what it's taken us to get here, how we feel about it, and why our next steps to contributing and making this conversation is really, really important. So we're going to take a second. Let's get ready to go. And we'll see you guys in just 1 minute. Give us a little break. No, but we're going to come back in for just a second because I need to check audio, because obviously you guys know that, not everything works for me the way I want it to work. So what we're going to do is come back really quick a second early so that I can do this portion and add that and add that. And can anybody say hello really quick?
Hello.
Perfect. We're back. Okay, awesome. All right,
Hello.
guys. It is 2:30. Okay. We're officially right on the dot. And I can't believe that Adela has been pretty much on the dot with most of her stuff today, for the most part. Again, minor things with the mishaps. Here we are. Don't give up on yourself. Without further ado, the thing I've been working on for the last ever of my life, but really the last 7 years of my life, I have to, you guys, we have to give a huge thank you to William P. Cook. William Cook. Dude, my man, you, my dude, are the shit. You are legit the man. I don't care. Prove me wrong, anyone else in this team and place and space. Be better than what he is and show up than what he does and give me better heart than he does. And I promise you I will be on your team that way. But you haven't, and I need you to. So please do, because he did. And I'm so passionate about it because he was able to take someone like me and a whole disarray of a mess and a whole ADHD all over the place bouncing ball, like what do you call them, in the ping pong machines, just and put her into a collectively articulate, thoughtful being. And again, it's not that I didn't do the work. It's not that I didn't put in the effort. But when someone can look and take your story and put it into that, that's epic. So again, without further ado, let's take a second and let's watch this. And I'm really, really excited. All right, we're moving on to the screen, you guys. In 3, 2, 1. I want to first of all say I appreciate you so much from the bottom of my heart for your patience and your guidance and allowing me to genuinely grow and evolve with you and through this whole process and these last couple of years.
What is defining the narrative? We would think as a narrative as a narration of our life or just stories we tell. But a narrative for me is literally me writing this is my narrative right now. Taking claim and acceptance of your life and what happened and that your narrative was not written the way you had wanted it, you get to redefine that.
To be honest, I don't remember the first 15 to 18 years of my life very well.
All from the day that I know, that's all I know. And in my head and in my thought, we were maybe weak.
And everything feels like not real.
It just feels like another life. What the fuck happened in that 3 years?
I suppressed my whole existence. I still don't remember. But what's crazy is through this process, I'm regaining some things that I'm able to control better.
I went through the eating disorders. I went through cutting. I went through completely hopelessness of nothing.
You've already survived a war. You can't survive yourself. With Project Human, when I started it, I knew this was a lifelong journey for me. This is my life's work.
Hi everyone, my name is Adela Hittel and I am the owner and founder of Project Human Incorporated, also known as PHInc, a new way to think about mental health. Our mission is to bridge the gap between mental and emotional health through communication, education, and a positive, tangible expression.
The structure of Project Human, how do we teach humans to be able to take control, take care of their narrative, understand it, and rewrite it, reform it, redefine it for themselves? With this documentary, with Project Human, with where we are doing that, we are making these conversations known and needed. It's been a lot of work, and I'm so grateful to every volunteer, every human who's come and helped in in-kind donations and money support and everything, because we're here.
Like, I see myself every time I do a project, every time I finish something, every time I create something, I see myself better and more valuable.
Art is the key to healing. It is everything we don't get to say. Art is a reflection of the truth within you. Truth is set free in the light. It is the emotions we don't get to express. I know what colors make me feel. I know what textures make me feel. My narrative is still being written. This is me defining it. You have years to heal. But in 2 years, what I've done, because I accepted, I've made up 10 years of time. Because I was willing to accept that that part of me belongs to me. It is mine. But how I define it, how I reframe it today, that's the decision that will change and alter the reality of my life. It's not a choice, but the decision that will change and alternate the whole reality of my life. But it took 7 years to get to the acceptance stage. When we started, I was a 12-year-old child. So man, kudos to her girl for getting me to here, because I'm so proud of her. She's a part that I will forever protect.
And we're back, you guys, on my end. Hi, everyone. Ta-da! Thoughts?
I think Claire online said it best. It certainly does bring tears up.
Yay. We wanted feeling.
Yeah,
I wanted
very
to feel.
excited. Very excited. Can't wait for the full thing.
I really admire the way that the music was paired with the emotion of the story, the ability to grasp many different life stages of your journey, Adela, your identities, your hair colors, the inclusion of your mother, the personal story, both the volatility and vulnerability of self-inflicted harm to the place of growth, healing, and advocacy, and one woman, one family's journey in creating that pathway to health and using that as a springboard and a platform to bring others to that process of healing and growth. And I think it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful presentation.
Thank you. Thank you.
And it's going to win some awards at some film festivals for sure. We're excited. Yep.
It's exciting. It's exciting. Yolanda, your thoughts? You've been around?
So this is not my first time seeing it. So it's the first time I saw it though, I bawled like a baby with the biggest smile on my face. Because it's like after these last, gosh, I don't even know how many years it's been now.
We've been working on
You've been doing it for 7, right?
I've been doing it for 7. You guys have been part of it for the last 3 to 4 years.
And so like just seeing everything we've done and seeing where you came from, knowing where you were in each of the times that you were talking, because like your hair, because If you don't know, we're both hairstylists, so you could tell where we were at in our life by our hair. Um, and to know the story like through and through, to see how Will put that together, uh, it was unexpected. Like it really was unexpected. I wasn't 100% sure how it was going to look. I knew about all the things we had been doing. Um, but I love how, and you always pick on me for saying this stuff, but I love how he simplified it. I love how he didn't make it complicated. He made it real. He made it tangible. Um, and if that isn't you, I don't know what is. And the documentary is so much more than what you just saw. Like there's so many moving parts throughout everything. But the cool thing is you get to see Adela as a human being. You don't get to see her as like the CEO of PHInc and like as this person who's got all these PDFs and has everything organized. You get to see her break. You get to see her struggling. You get to see her pushing herself to the point that she is literally beating herself because of pain. Um, you get to see the rawness of things that when we were all doing life together, we got to see, and you're getting to see it in a way that honestly it shows her humanity from a very from a very raw place to the place she is now where she's just open. It's not raw anymore. You know what I mean? It's a closed wound that is healed. It's a beautiful, beautiful scar, and she proudly wears it. And she's brought us all along with her to heal from just her doing it on her own. Like I don't know how many people even know that, but like she didn't develop PHInc just for PHInc. Let me like she went through all the processes that we're praising her for helping us through alone. And I don't know if you guys understand how hard that is. Like pulling yourself up when you're that alone, when you know you're in the place where you want everything to end, and to have somebody come alongside you and help you after they've done it, but they did it alone. That story is so powerful because it's not a usual thing. It's an unusual thing. And she is it's not just because she's my friend, okay? Let me just be very real about it. She is an unbelievable human being. She shows us an example of what it is that we can do through our own perseverance. And I'm not even going to say strength. I'm just going to say the sheer willpower to not want the same thing anymore, to just move a little bit and look how far she's come. Look how far she's come from being in a place where she was hated for no reason, being in a place where death was right in front of her face, to where now she's literally surrounded by people who wouldn't even let it touch her. And personally, I just love that people are getting to see the person that I know. Sorry, but sorry.
Thanks. I'm crying too. I don't, it's hard to hear the things about you or the things that you don't share with the world in that way. Like I share my pain in a way that I understand to share it with people because pain is universal. And so if I hurt, we hurt, we're all hurting. And because I personally, and this, everybody else around me would tell me, like, Adela, details matter, your story matters. And then I'm here going, like, details don't matter. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter because we all feel pain. We all feel joy. We all feel anger. We all feel these things. So it doesn't matter. But as Yolanda just said at the end, it does matter to be seen for something other than what everyone else thinks they see you as. And this was also my first time seeing me in this light too. I forget my own struggle. I do. I forget my own struggle. I'm in such joy and peace and stability now. I haven't been in pain in 3 years. I haven't, I've had my relapses a couple of times during these times, but I've been able to reach out now and I'm not alone. And that's like the beauty of it. And so to see that and to know that I, in those moments, almost gave up multiple of times and didn't even want to do this or didn't even want to be here, and but I knew the truth of it. Like, I knew that this was important, and it was important to talk about the pain. It was important to be real about it, because no one else around me was. Everybody else around me was lying about what was happening. And I don't mean to say that, but it was lying to me that they weren't hurt, lying to me that they didn't feel what I was feeling, lying to me that it was so easy. And if there's one thing about me, you guys, I can't stand lying. Like, lying is like you want to break a relationship with me, you want me to be end all, like, lie to me. Like, go and stab me in the back, I'll come back and be like, yeah, you stabbed me, but I gave you the knife. Like, okay, cool. But like, lie to me, it's the end of the world for me. Like, it is the end. I will never speak to you again. I don't care what justifications you had, you lied. Like, I can't do it. But again, stab me in the back, pull the rug under me, set me on fire. I'm okay with that, because like, I gave you the tools. I know, sick psychology, but it is. But lying is just not part of my morality and who I am. And so everybody around me who lies to me, and again, I grew up in an environment where it's just lies. You're lying about your life, lying about your death, lying about who you are, lying about lying about where you come from, lie this, lie. So the truth of being human was so hard to be. And I'm so grateful to William, because he's just like what he put together, I didn't even see. Like, we had this idea, we've gone through timelines, we put it together. I'm like, and I want this, and this is how this is going to be. And if anybody knows me, I have the PDFs and the pictures to go along with it, and the timestamps and how I want it and why I want it, and nothing was taken into consideration. So I just want you to know, just because I do the PDFs and I'm a boss does not mean you technically have to take it into consideration. Creative liberty is freedom here with us, okay? It really is. And that's the part of what I love about him, is that no matter what it is, he really did get the part that I care about the story. When the artist cares about what the image is going to come out, or what the piece is going to look like, or what the narrative might be, that's why you need humans around you that go, Adela, you may be caring about the visual, you may be caring about what everybody else is going to think, but I know you care more about the heart, and I know you care more about the emotion of it. You don't care about how you look, you don't care about how you think about it or how you sound, you care about that. So I'm glad you said the simplicity, because I was overcomplicating things, as I always do, and he takes it upon to, again, put me together in ways that I never thought could possible. So I'm really, really glad. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I'm stoked with it. I cry every time I look at it, and I go, I can't believe I was a little girl thinking I could do this and I would have this whole world winning it. But the thing I'm most proud of is that I didn't give up. Like, I didn't give up even when it seemed like it was impossible. I didn't give up even when I was here by myself on one show. Nobody watched. Nobody was here to be on YouTube or Zoom with me. Nobody was here to host 3 hours with me to have a conversation and deal with all of this, or you guys watching and you guys sharing. Like, nobody was here before. So the fact, and if there's one thing, again, another thing that you get out of this is that don't give up on yourself. You're worth the effort. If no one else is investing in you, if no one else is putting in the time in you, it is your responsibility. It is your accountability. You are here for that. You get to define that narrative. You get to put it together. You get to make your book, your story. You get to make your teaser of your life be what you decide to be. And you get to show them what that is, and you get to show them your growth and show them your power, show them the resilience you have. And this is what this documentary is for me, and what I hope it means to our team that we put it in, which I have to give a huge shout out to the community. For you guys who don't know what it's taken to bring this to life, it has this documentary, and again, we're still in post-production. We still have a lot to do, and we're looking to add one more thing, because Adela overcomplicates things as always. But if it makes the story better, why not work a little harder, okay? So bear with me if it takes me another 2 years to get you the full thing, okay? But again, ideas work when they come in and work together. So part of that is that we want to showcase and share with you the story of triumph, the story of people showing up for each other, even when you don't want to, or you can't, or you don't know what you're doing. People who read all my PDF files, people who threw my PDF files away, people who said, I don't want to read your PDF files, Adela, or who came up and said, I didn't know I was supposed to do that, Adela, or I didn't know I was supposed to have my gear, Adela. Like, all of that stuff. And I say this in all the ways because, again, all of that, it took all of that to get here. I say those things because it took all of that to get to here. It took people showing up. It took us messing up on the front lines. It took us coming back and picking ourselves up, picking each other up, being there for each other, finding the resources, stepping up when somebody couldn't step up. It took all of that. It did not. we could have fought about it. We could have argued about it. We could have been mean to each other about it. We could have put each other down about through every process of what we did, and we didn't. That's what I love about our projects. That's what I love about what we do in Project Human, that even if you mess up, we look at you and go, okay, cool, so what? Fix it and move on. Like, that's it. It's really that simple. And so with that, and I go back to what the in-kind donation, because of all of that, we are well over 200 and plus $1,000 of in-kind donation that this community, the Jacksonville community, has provided in creating this documentary. We have 24 hours, 25 hours actually of footage, full hours of footage over these last 8 years. We're putting down into 1 hour, into 40 minutes of a feature documentary, like all of that. So for 25 hours, 200 and something $1,000 of in-kind donation, whether that's in skill, whether that's in equipment, whether that's in your donating your spaces, donating food to feed us, donating decorations, donate whatever it is, or even your own money. You have been on my set and you have put in your own money into something when I couldn't afford to do or complete something. You have no idea how much it means to me as a human being, just the fact that you were willing to support the crazy ideas, but what it means for Project Human as a community, because it means that you believe in something bigger than you, bigger than us, bigger than any of this. You believe that we are all worth the effort. You believe that we're all worth something and some value of a time that we have. And you also believe that we're capable of providing that and have the capacity and the ability to reach that within ourselves, to be that for someone else. So I really hope that you are seeing what we're doing, what we're trying to accomplish, why this matters so much more to us, why the conversation is the most important part of what we do, despite our mess ups, despite the little technical difficulties we may have here and there. Skip through those, guys, as you're watching. But despite everything, right, all of us showed up, all of us were able to do this, and now we've created a piece and a masterpiece that's going to live in time that I'll get to look back on and go, I can't believe that little girl, because I was a child when I started this organization. Even though I may have been in my 30s, I was a child when I started this organization. Now I'm in my late 30s and I'm a woman, and I understand what it means to be a woman. I understand what it means to be an adult and a responsible one, an accountable one. Does that mean I'm still a child and an unserious one and all that stuff? Of course, 100%. But I just know how to manage my own tantrums better. I know how to put myself in timeout better. Which, by the way, speaking of timeout, there's a shirt that says I need a timeout. Go check it out. It's in there. It's in our merch stuff. We have a shirt that says I need a timeout. It is great. You need a timeout. Go get one. But again, plug it in. But that's part of that. We have a couple of minutes before we get on, before we're done with our event, that I want to take a minute and take a look at our comments, take a look at our sections, and give our team a little bit more time to say something. But I do want to ask you and ask a huge favor of all of you, my team, everybody on this call, everybody that's listening, everybody that's watching, everybody that shares. I really would love for you to, number one, watch the teaser. Number two, share it with everybody. Number three, donate if you can, into anything that we're doing. If you can't do that, share with somebody who can. Share with somebody who you think might be interested in supporting and investing and donating and making sure that the next phases of what we do can happen and we can attribute, so that we can impact through these projects, through these productions that we do, way more people, way more humans, and save way more lives. So that is my ask of you today. On top of that, go buy yourself a piece of merch and a ticket to our Runway Resilience show. I'm asking a lot. I know. I appreciate it. I'm asking a lot. This is why I should not be in charge. So while I'm asking a lot, go do what you can, and we appreciate the support and we love you. Team, all right, any comments, any suggestions, anything else we want to pop in and say? Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to stop for a second and say, yes, there are a lot of options, but that's because there are a lot of ways to get involved. So choose your favorite one. If you can't afford any of the merch, great. Share it with someone that you can. If you can't afford anything and you don't know anyone who can afford, just share the video, because we think it could make a difference in someone's life. And if you can't even do that, just, ask how you could help. We have so many ways to volunteer. If you don't know what you can do, you don't know how you can contribute, just tell us what you like most, and we'll give you some suggestions, because it takes a community to have everybody united, and we really need as much help as you can provide, whether it be monetary, donations, even just sharing across social media. Whatever speaks to you, use that. Use your voice. And if you don't have a voice, let us know and we'll help you find that voice.
Beautifully said, Alicia. Part of what we are as a nonprofit community is a group of people who believes in the process of healing and in the many forms of art that can drive that healing. You've seen examples today of fashion, which many of those pieces, not the certified nuisance, but the original fashion for the fashion fundraiser, have been created by hand by Adela, Yolanda, myself, and others. The Fashion Runway event is welcoming designers, vendors, donors, makers in order to create that connectivity through art and sharing in the love of fashion and the use of it as a launch place for resilience. There are documentary fanaticists among us as another form of art. There could be paint, sculpture, podcasts, blogs, writers, um, all forms of art. You do not need to be a professional artist to use art as an outlet to express yourself, to feel yourself, to come to terms with things that are hard to articulate. And what Project Human wants to do for the community in Jacksonville, the community virtually anywhere in the world, is to create those artistic expression opportunities. And we need your help to do that. And as Alicia said, as Adela said, your kindness, your connectivity, your investment, whether of yourself or your resources or your network and their resources, make a huge difference for what we can do for others and for you. So we appreciate anything that you can do and thank you in advance.
Yolanda, anything you want to say?
Yeah, I mean, just thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for listening. Um, Thank you for reaching out if you do. Honestly, just thank you for breathing. Like, thank you for being here in general in life, you know. Um, like Jennifer was saying, we have a lot of opportunities. But if you're the kind of person who's like, I have no skills, I want to help, but I don't know where I can listen, you tell us what you're interested in. Like, you might not know how to cook. Well, maybe you'll come alongside me and I will show you how to, cater an event one time. I do hair. Listen, I go wherever we have a need. So I might teach you hair. I might teach you makeup. I might teach you how to hem something. I might teach you how to cook. We might be making set design. We could be doing all sorts of things. We all do photography. We all do some sort of image editing. Like Will has all his cameras. Gadella said, we have gaffers. We have people that are in the industry outside of this nonprofit. Like it's what we do. And we have no desire to keep, what do people say? We don't gatekeep our gifts. You know what I'm saying? If you're like, hey, you know what? I really would love to be able to do makeup on set, but I have no idea what I'm doing. That's okay. That's why we have teams. You'll come in and we will teach you and you will learn. Guess what? If you mess up, not a big deal. That's what some of us who are more professional at it are there to show you how to potentially fix a mistake. Because listen, the only real mistake is just not even trying. So we're here to facilitate that. We're here to again, come alongside you in the most elementary way. Imagine us being in line at school. We're going to recess together. We want to go to lunch. We're going to the best things because we want to learn and we want to have fun. We want to have that community. And most of all, we want to grow in a relationship with each other because listen, I might not talk to everyone on this panel, but I guarantee you if something was going on and I gave them a phone call, they would listen. They would pick up because we've already have an understanding that that's who we are. That's who we have chose to be. In our narrative of the story that is our lives, we have decided to be what is that called? Like we're main characters and every person here is the secondary, what is that? I don't even remember what's
The
that called.
supporting
Like the
character,
supporting
role.
characters. Yeah, supporting role in our
Be a main
stories.
character in your own story and have
Yeah.
supporting people and supporting roles. It's your life is a production, you guys. And speaking of production, first of all, I want to say thank you guys really quick. Thank you so much for all my team, for all the answers, for all the questions, for all the feedback. As we've all mentioned, there are multiple ways to volunteer. Seth, do you have anything to say before I answer a question?
Oh no, the only thing I have to say would just parrot everything that's already been said.
Perfect. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Seth is our writer, so he's the quiet.
Listen,
That's
he's our
his
backbone.
artistic
Sometimes
talent.
he's our backbone
Yeah.
for the things we don't need. We need to do. So there was a question in our chat that said, when and where will the documentary be available? The documentary, like I said, we're still in post. We have about a year and a half to 2 years before we're officially releasing it to the public on a public scale, right? And on our streaming platforms, they will be on streaming platforms. We're working on with distribution right now. We're working on a couple of different ways for that to happen for us. So we still have a little long way to go. However, what we are doing is on our website, if you go under the Define the Narrative documentary, we're about to have an exclusive look page coming soon to you. So it's not officially there yet for you. You can't click it on completely yet because we're working on it right now. For donation based and for tier based, or even just in general, we're going to start releasing a lot more information that we are not using in the documentary. What's on the cutting room floor as we see it. So we're going to be sharing a lot of that information there. And for those of you who contribute in a tier based donation or become a sponsor of what we're doing with the crowdfunding of this to raise it to the next level, you will be able to gain even more access and early release to the documentary itself. So whether you'll gain early release to seeing the first feature when we finish the whole thing, seeing it before all the releases out of the festivals are, because again, the things we can't release right now, we can't share a lot right now. The film festivals get the first say, get the first look, get the first thing. So we are coming up in September, starting our film festival run for the year. So it's a full year of running for festivals, full year of getting to know if we're accepted, if we're not, where to, and we have over 16 festivals we're entering to. That's a lot for a short. That's a lot for a documentary. That's like most of the time people enter 5 to 8. We're entering into 16 and we vetted them out and we're doing them. And then last but not least, when we do that at our mental health summit, which we're working on for next year, when we have our 3-day event, we're going to do a special feature in that to those who are coming in, a private feature. So you guys will get to a little early release in that. So those are the answers and questions in that. And we're right on our almost 3 o'clock time. We don't want to take up anybody else's time any more than we already have. So what we're going to do is say thank you. I thank you. We thank you. Project Human thanks you. And every human that you showed up for, that you show up for, and the human that you show for within yourself, say thank you to, because the thank you is what goes a long way in being grateful. The thank you is what goes a long way in bringing you joy and bringing you a new sense of peace and stability and a new perspective. So we thank you. And while we're thanking you, we thank you for shopping with us. We thank you for donating with us. And we thank you for supporting, liking, and subscribing in all the ways. Until next time, my loves. Woo, woo, woo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.